WDPN studio, it's time for live and local sports talk. It's the Sam Bourquin Show.
I'm ready.
Give the show a call at 330-821-1310.
Good call, meatball.
Watch the Sam Bourquin Show on the AM 1310 Facebook page, the Q92 YouTube page, and on X. This is the Sam Bourquin Show on AM 1310 WDPN.
Line drive, left center field. That's going to get down. That's in the alley. Juan will score. Angel's around second, on his way to third. Here's the relay throw. He's in there safely with an RBI triple. And the Guardians lead by 2.
That one came from left center.
Jose shoots one down the left field line. Fair ball. That's into the corner. Scoring is Angel Martinez. Infield in for Arias, who drives one to right field near the line. That will be a fair ball. Ramirez scores. Manzardo stops at third. Throw goes all the way to home, and Arias says, thank you very much. I'll go to second base.
Fly ball, right field, foul pole. It is fair and gone. Number 55, Cal Raleigh.
Line drive down the right field line. That one is over the head and out of the ballpark. It hit the top of the fence, went out of the yard. A 3-run lightning bolt by Rafael Marchand. And the Phillies have retaken the lead.
All right, lots of stuff going on in baseball last night. Good stuff for the Guardians. A heart-palpitating, white-knuckler, nail-biting extra inning win against the Motor City Kitties last night. 7-5, the Guards win. Let's take a look at the paperwork. 79-71. 9-1 in their last 10. I believe they've won 11 of their last 12. They are 2.5 out of the wild card spot. So today, when we woke up, the Guardians are 2.5 out. Rangers are 3.5 out. In front of the Guardians for the wild card, Houston at 83-69. The Red Sox are 82-69. So that's where we sit. What a wild game last night in Detroit. You talk about the roller coaster ride of emotions. I went from, okay, all right, son of a, okay, all right, ball game. That's what I think. It's what we all went through last night. 7-5 was the final score. Things were looking, it was a very low-scoring game until we got to the last couple of innings. Joey Cantillo pitched pretty good baseball. He got you 5. Tiger scored in the bottom of the 6th. Then he's got a solo home run to tie it in the bottom of the 9th. That just made me sick. But then we bounce back in the top of the 10th and get 4. They come back with 2 and had a couple of guys on, I believe. And Jacob Junis finally slammed the door. 7-5, your final score. Guardians with the win. Cade Smith got the win in relief, although, he got the win. It was a wild baseball game last night. Had a playoff feel to it. Took a little bit longer. It was 3 hours and 10 minutes. They had almost 32,000 at Comerica Park last night. But the Guardians, somehow, some way, they found a way, and they got the job done. All right, let's do it again tonight. Guards and Tigers, Gavin Williams against John Flaherty. 6:40 first pitch, Comerica Park. Tigers, a small favorite tonight. The total is 8.5. The big rig is going for the Guards tonight, 10-5, and a 3.16 earned run average. Flaherty not having the greatest year. He's 8-13 and a 4.69 earned run average. And then tomorrow, don't forget, tomorrow's at 1:10 in the afternoon. And it looks like Tarek Skubal is going for the Tigers on Thursday. Now, the app that I'm looking at is just screwed up because it's got Gavin Williams starting today and it's got Gavin Williams starting tomorrow. Okay, that's not going to work. But whatever, we'll worry about it tomorrow. So tonight's 6:40 game 2, that 3-game set. And by the way, the Guardians are now 5.5 behind the Tigers in the Central Division standings. Okay, so that's how crazy this year's been. There's some games going on this afternoon. Really no playoff ramifications here for any of these teams, I don't believe. Pirates trailing the Cubs 7-4 in the 7th. Today was I believe it was the final home start for Paul Skeens for the Pirates, and he had a rough afternoon at PNC Park. Cubbies jumped on him early, 4 in the first, so he did not have a good day. Aaron Savali is now pitching for the Cubs in that ballgame. Reds lead the Cards 4-2 in the 6th. Orioles lead the White Sox 3-0 in the 4th. Let's see. Coming up later on today, you want to keep your eyes on the A's and Red Sox tonight. You want to keep your eyes on the Astros and the Rangers. That's an 8:10 first pitch. DeGrom against Javier tonight. And let's see here. Do we want to keep our eyes on? Yeah, you probably want to keep your eyes on the Red Sox too. And let's see here. Red Sox are going to host the A's tonight. The Athletics. I'm sorry. Can't call them the A's anymore. Got to call them the Athletics. That's at 6:45 at Fenway Park. So the Guardians are finding a way, even on the nights where they give up a few runs. But Stephen Kwan, fantastic again last night, 2 for 5. Hosey. Happy birthday, Jose, by the way. Jose's birthday today. Hosey 2 for 5 last night, a couple of runs scored and an RBI. Manzardo was 3 for 5. Gabby was 2 for 5. Nolan Jones 1 for 2 with a run scored. CJ Kafis 1 for 4 with a ribby. Here's how the pitching looked last night. Cantillo went 5. Gave up 4 hits and a run. Festa, 2/3. Sabrowski, 2/3. Gaddis, 2/3. Heron, an inning. Smith, an inning. Junis, an inning. My goodness. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We used 7 pitchers last night. Hope we don't need to go to the pen tonight. Give these guys a little bit of a rest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The Tigers used 5 pitchers last night, so they had to go into their bullpen a little bit as well. Folks, can they do this? Can they come all the way back? And I'm not talking about winning the division, although it's still hanging out there for them. Can this team somehow find a way through the murky waters, through the dark tunnels, and get a spot in the postseason? Everything points to no. Everything points to no. The schedule, they've got to keep playing a game of leapfrog to get over more than one team. It seems like the teams that they're chasing have decided to all of a sudden get hot. So everything points to no. I can't count this team out. For every reason in the world, it makes no sense. Does it make sense that they're 79-71? Does it make sense that this team has won 5 games in a row? Absolutely not. But here they are. Here they are. I mean, it's unbelievable. I mean, how many of you last night, and I'm gonna throw myself on this bus here. How many of you last night, when the Tigers tied that game up on a home run at the bottom of the 9th inning, threw your hands up in the air, shut the radio off, turned off the TV, unleashed a tirade of swear words? How many of you did that? I did. I was one of them. And most teams would be, oh, man, had this thing in the bag. We're on the road. How hard do we have to make it on ourselves? Gee, what do? They get off the deck, they come back the very next inning, and they put 4 runs on the board in the top of the 10th inning. Most teams would have just, they would not have absorbed the gut punch and kept going. Somehow the Cleveland Guardians did. They figured out a way. And they got to keep doing it. That's the thing. Every night they go out and play is a playoff game. Every single night. They got to have pitching. They got to have hitting. They got to have, they got to complement each other. They got to have a pen. They got to make the right decisions. They got to make the right moves on the mound. But by God, they just keep doing it. I mean, this is going to be probably close to an 85, 86 win team. And if you'd have told me that about 2 or 3 months ago, I'd have said no way. But here they are. 8 games over 500 and streaking at the right time of the year. Is anybody hotter than the Guardians right now? I'm looking at some of the win streak, and no, they're the hottest team in baseball right now.
It's funny, Sam. I think I wrote them off like 3 different times this year.
Oh, I've done it 5 times. And here they are.
There was a couple, like the gambling scandal. I was like, well, they're done. And then they started trading players. It's like, well, they're definitely done now. They've given up, and somehow they're the little baseball team they could.
Yeah, remember, you know what? Because more or less on purpose, but to me, those pitchers, to me, out of sight, out of mind. I'm not even going to bring their names up because they're no longer around. But they really screwed the Guardians over with their stupid actions. Okay, and yeah, it didn't look good. You lost an innings eater in the rotation. You lost a closer at the back end of the pen. Oh, and then we traded Shane Bieber away. And again, they have found a way. They've pieced everything together. And guys that were hitting, around $1 something or low 2s, now they're not getting scalding hot, but they're delivering. They're getting big hits at the big moment. And you can't deny that. You can't deny that. We're going to hear from Stephen Vogt, his press conference after the game last night. Also, Andre Knott from CLE Guardians TV had about a 2-minute interview with Stephen Quad after the game last night. We're going to play that for you coming up here as well, probably on the other side of the news and weather here at the bottom of the hour. So the Guards are playing fantastic ball. Let's see if they can keep it going tonight. Browns and the Packers, Sunday at the stadium. Kickoff at 1. We're going to hear from Coach Stefanski coming up. His press conference he held with the media about an hour or so ago. We're going to play some of that for you coming up. See his thoughts on Green Bay, on Jordan Love, on Micah Parsons, on the Packers organization, how the Browns, how they match up with maybe one of the best teams in the NFC. Green Bay's good, folks. That's a really good football team. Real good. I'd probably put them at second behind the Eagles in the NFC right now. I think things could change, obviously, but right now, I think I'd make it my number 2 team in the NFC. High school football week 5 is here. We're going to talk to Antonio Hall coming up at 5:35 today from Q92 Sports. We'll break down the big football games for you. We'll take a little look back at week 4, and then we'll preview week 5 coming up. Our poll question of the day in true poll question form. Our question today, what's the best week 5 high school matchup in Stark County? What's the best matchup in high school football this weekend in Stark County? And I gave you 4 choices. Just go ahead and tell me what you think the best game is. St.Eds at Massillon, Perry at Canton McKinley, Hoover at Louisville, or Green at Jackson. Get your vote in. on all of our social media platforms. You can drop some comments to us as well on the Q92 radio page on YouTube. You can also hit me up on my Facebook page and the X page as well. What's the best high school football matchup this Friday in Starr County? When I say best matchup, I say, I see the two teams playing. Okay, that's going to be a good game. Which is the best matchup? Green Jackson, Perry McKinley, St.Eds Massillon, or Hoover and Louisville? Get those votes in, and we'll read them here throughout the show. A little bit later on today, on this day in sports history, coming your way as well. So we got a lot of stuff cooking here today on the Sam Bourquin Show. Just a reminder, the text line is open, 330-924-7088. Text line, 330-924-7088. And, of course, you can check us out on all of our 1310 WDPN social media platforms.
Or if you're watching the stream right now, there's a link in the description you can click if you want to hop in and talk directly to Sam.
You can do that, too.
Or keep doing that. I think it's a good idea.
By choice or by necessity?
It's going to be a really good idea until it either is or blows up in my face. Either way.
And there it is. So we invite you to go ahead and do that as well. We are scheduled to talk to Maddie Underwood from CLE Guardians TV at 4. Looks like that's a go. 4:10, I beg your pardon. That'll be up 4:10 here this afternoon. So see how Maddie's doing. Probably doing well. Got a lot of good calls last night. Dramatic 9th and 10th inning. Oh, folks, it's only September, and like every Guardians game now is every night. It's fun, though. It makes it fun. All right, we'll take a break. 3:25 here on the Sam Bourquin Show, 1310 WDPN. Just getting started here on a Wednesday. Stay with us.
Exciting high school football Friday night here on AM 1310 as Canton Central Catholic takes on Alliance. Sam Bourquin will have the play-by-play action at 6:45 for the pregame show. Kickoff at 7 p.m. The Vikings against the Aviators this Friday on AM 1310 and streaming live on the Q92 Radio Sports Network.
You've always enjoyed an active lifestyle, hiking with family, resort vacations, the occasional trip to the spa, and nights out with friends at your favorite restaurants. You want and need your lifestyle to follow you into your retirement years. Now, imagine a place with peaceful surroundings, resort amenities, and easy access to city life. It's just around the corner at Copeland Oaks. Copeland Oaks has earned a reputation as more than a retirement destination, but also a place to call home. An independent consultant for senior living rated Copeland Oaks with a perfect score, and it's easy to see why. Maintain your lifestyle on the beautiful Copeland Oaks campus with all the amenities you love, and if you need it down the road, assistance is there. Keep living your life to its fullest at Copeland Oaks, your all-inclusive senior living resort. Visit CopelandOaks.com for more information. That's CopelandOaks.com.
How's Tommy doing now?
Much better.
You said it was asthma?
Yeah, he started with this cough and then he was wheezing.
That's terrifying.
Doctor said hidden triggers can make it worse. Things like dust, mold, even pests.
Pests?
Yeah, droppings and allergens from cockroaches and rodents can seriously impact children with asthma or allergies.
I had no idea.
We're making sure our home stays pest-free.
Don't let pests put your family's health at risk. Visit pestworld.org to learn more. A public service message from the National Pest Management Association.
All right, welcome back, everybody. AM 1310 WDPN. And check us out on all of our social media platforms. Best high school football matchup, week 5. Just pick one. Some of you are kind of getting off the tracks here a little bit. Just give me one. All right? Is it St.Eds Massillon? Is it Hoover Louisville? Is it Green Jackson? Or is it McKinley Perry? What is the best high school football matchup this Friday night? Let us know on our social media platforms. So far on X, Hoover Louisville leads the way. 69%. 14% say Eds Massillon, 12% McKinley Perry, 6% Green and Jackson. By the way, this Friday night, right here on AM 1310 WDPN, the Alliance Aviators and Central Catholic Crusaders will get together. Pregame at 6:30, the kickoff at 7. You can join myself and Caleb Norick for the play-by-play. Our FM game on Q92 Radio, 92.5 FM, is Massillon hosting Lakewood St.Eds. And then we've got 5 other big games for you all along the Q92 Radio Sports Network at Q92radiosports.com. All coming your way on Friday. Weather is going to be fantastic again, so get your gear on, get your school colors on. You won't need a blanket. You probably won't need a jacket. It's going to be fantastic.
You could probably even wear shorts this Friday.
Oh, my God, yes. Man. You kidding me?
Well, yeah, no, like guys like us, obviously, we're
we're
going to wear shorts regardless.
Year round, but yeah.
I'm saying normal people that aren't insane like us can wear shorts.
You know, it's so funny. The first game of the year was, what was our first game? Was it, okay, it wasn't Marlin. Week 2. Was it Alliance Louisville?
I think it was that Streetsboro?
Streetsboro was week 3.
Was that week 3?
But one of the weeks, I looked around in the stands and I said, what is I mean, people had on hoodies and hats and long pants. And I'm like, what are you going to do when it gets cold? But yeah, it's going to be fantastic this weekend. So if you can get to the games, great. We would love to see you. More people in the stands, the better for everybody. But if you can't make it, we'll put you on the 50-yard line, okay? AM 1310, WDPN, and the Q92 Radio Sports Network. Okay, we need to break. News and weather's coming up. Stay with us.
Here's the latest news on AM 1310, WDPN.
Good afternoon. It's 3:30. The Federal Reserve has made a major decision on interest rates. ABC's Mike Dubusky has details.
For the first time this year, the Federal Reserve has cut interest rates. At a press conference, Fed Chair Jerome Powell said it comes as unemployment and inflation numbers edge up.
And in light of the shift in the balance of risks, today the Federal Open Market Committee decided to lower our policy interest rate by 0.25 percentage point.
Officials are predicting further rate cuts at the Fed's 2 remaining meetings this year. Powell also revised the Fed's predictions for overall economic growth to now 1.6% for 2025. Mike Dubusky, ABC News.
The Fed has in recent months been under pressure from President Trump to lower rates. President Trump is relishing the glow of a British royal spectacle during his state visit. He was greeted at Windsor Castle today by King Charles III, military honor guards, and mounted troops before paying a private tribute at the tomb of Queen Elizabeth II. The president, accompanied by First Lady Melania Trump, attended a musical performance on the castle grounds. The visit aims to strengthen ties amid tensions over Trump's America First policies. British officials are hoping to avoid awkward questions about Jeffrey Epstein as an opening day full of ceremony and good feelings gives way to real work tomorrow. That's when Trump and British Prime Minister Keir Starmer meet. The 22-year-old accused of fatally shooting conservative activist Charlie Kirk was formally charged Tuesday in Utah. Tyler Robinson faces the death penalty if convicted of capital murder. ABC News national correspondent Matt Gutman is in Orem, Utah, with details.
We heard the prosecutor yesterday say that the family had said that Tyler Robinson had been suicidal, talked about preferring suicide than turning himself in. So he's under what's called special watch to ensure that he doesn't harm himself or that others don't harm him. And he seemed to be very intently listening to the judge as he explained the procedure and then read the 7 charges against him, including the fact that he faces the death penalty.
A German man who is under investigation in the disappearance of British toddler Madeleine McCann 18 years ago was released from prison today after serving his sentence in an unrelated case. The man, who has been identified by media as Christian Bruckner, had been serving a 7-year sentence that stemmed from his 2019 conviction for the rape of a 72-year-old American woman in Portugal. He left the prison near Hanover in northern Germany this morning. It's 83 degrees in Alliance at 3:32. This is WDPN News. I'm Jeff Mears.
Here's the Alliance Area Weather Forecast on AM 1310 WDPN.
This afternoon's forecast calling for sunny skies at a high near 84 degrees. Tonight, mostly clear, a low near 52, patchy fog early Thursday. Otherwise sunny, a high near 85. Mostly sunny Friday, a high near 80. Saturday, sunshine, a high of 83. That's your WDPN weather.
She's simply awesome. She touched by me in
All right, get it, Billy. Get it, Billy Ocean. Welcome back to the Sam Bourquin Show. I almost gave the phone number again. Welcome back, 1310 WDPN. Text line is open, 330-924-7088. Hello to all of you listening and watching on the Q92 radio page on YouTube, on the WDPN Facebook page, our X page. Keep them coming. The more, the merrier. A lot of folks out there consuming the program today, and we think we appreciate that. What is the biggest high school football game Friday night? Biggest matchup in Stark County? I give you 4. You got to pick one. Massillon, St. Eds, Green Jackson, Hoover Louisville, or McKinley Perry. Let us know on our social media platforms. Matty Underwood, CLE, Guardians, TV, coming up at 4:10 today. We'll talk about the cardiac guards, man. 79 and 71. They're still in it. They're still in it. High school football talk from Q92 Sports, Antonio Hall. We'll be talking ball with Hall, 5:35 today. Let's see here. Let's go look at some of these matchups that you folks are either attending or B, think they are the best games on Friday night. Here we go. Bill says Hoover and Louisville, best matchup. John says Lakewood St. Eds at Massillon. Now, Ryan kind of cheated. So he listed all 4. He just put them in order. He's got Hoover at Louisville, best non-Week 10 rivalry in Stark County. At 2, he's got Perry McKinley. Seems like Perry is the one Federal League team who consistently gives McKinley problems. That is true. At 3, he's got St. Eds at Massillon. This has been a great matchup the last couple years. Well, Massillon's still very good. I don't think they are on Ed's level this year. He expects an Ed's win by 2 possessions. 4th, he has Green to Jackson. This will be a solid game. Both teams are better than their records, in his opinion. Thank you, Ryan. Jackson says St. Ed's at Massillon. Go Tigers. I'll be there. Mike says Hoover Louisville is going to be a huge game. Yes. I think Hoover Louisville is the best game of the weekend around here. I do. Who's doing that game for us? I know it's Q92sports.com. Is that Jay? Is Jay? I don't know who's doing that game. I was thinking about seeing if they wanted to switch off. No, we can't do that. Sally, good to hear you, Sally. Sally says, go Leps. She's got about 3 leopard emojis in her message. Mary Jane says, Hoover Louisville, best game Friday night. Ron says, St. Ed's in the Tigers. Eric says, Louisville Hoover this week for sure, best game. Jim says, Massillon and St. Ed's. Tommy says it's Massillon Eds, but the other 3 are all really good matchups. I think so too. Dave checking in says, all sounds good to me. Go Vikings. Tom says probably Hoover at Louisville.
Rick on Facebook also says Louisville and Hoover.
Yeah, I think that's the best game. I do.
We also had a pretty good comment on YouTube from Doug, who says, I dropped the Browns defense and picked up the Packers defense in my fantasy league. I should have 100 points on Sunday.
You should.
He said, best matchup is St. Ed's V Massillon, but that Hoover matchup is going to be great.
Yeah, Hoover Louisville is going to be good. I would not be surprised if that game sells out. I I'm thinking maybe even before Friday it might sell out. If you haven't gotten your tickets yet for Hoover Louisville, I would I would get them. I would get those as quickly as you can. I was thinking about this today. Remember when paper tickets were used and everything? And it was so nice just to, just go get your ticket and hand it to the person at the gate. You walked into the game and now you have to have a QR code and a link to a ticket app and all this crap. Why did we... Never mind. Mark says St.Eds at Massillon will be the best matchup in Tiger Town. Jim says Hoover Louisville, number 1. Eds Massillon, number 2. He says St.Eds is due. Could be. Perry McKinley, and then he's got Green Jackson at 4. He says Jackson wins because they're at home. Robin says, I'm a Tiger fan, but I can tell you what, I got to go with Louisville and Hoover this weekend. Joseph says, Sammy, no doubt, Hoover, Louisville, best game in the county on Friday night. What say you? What's the best matchup Friday night in high school football? Let us know. Social media. X, Facebook, Q92 radio page on YouTube. Again, we'll talk to Antonio Hall all about the high school football landscape coming up at 5:35 here this afternoon. But I'm gonna go Hoover Louisville. I think that's the best game. Both teams 4-0. It's got that old historic rivalry to it, if you will. Louisville, one of the great venues in Ohio to watch high school football. You're right on top of the action. No 8-lane track pushing the bleachers 50, 80 yards away from the field. Just a great place to watch a game. Great place to watch a game. I know the parking can be a little terse, but you got to get there as early as you can. And hey, on a nice night like Friday, just park in one of the neighborhood side streets and walk on over. That's what we used to do way, way, way long time ago. Because there's just no parking. I mean, the stadium is literally dropped in a neighborhood. But, oh, what a setting it is. Friday nights in Louisville, pretty special. They are. Not to say they're not everywhere else, but you get a little bit of that feel when you go over there on a Friday night. Let's see here. Madison says, I'll be going to the Minerva St. Thomas game. Lions have a chance to win their 4th game in 5 weeks. How about Zach Slates? How about the Minerva Lions 3-1? How about East Canton 4-0? Now I know the competition. I know, but hey, it's better than an L. How about Spider Miller and Zach Slates? How about the job those two guys are doing right now for their football teams? Minerva trying to rekindle the past a little bit. I know Heinz Field has been rocking. In East Canton, 4-0. Just playing. Just going out there and playing. And I'll tell you what, there are some great matchups coming up here. The second 5 weeks of the season. We'll get into those maybe a little bit later on today. I don't want to look too far ahead, but there's some pretty appealing matchups out there. Week 6, 7, 8, 9, and of course 10. I think next week we will do our Stark County top 5. We'll wait. We'll do these games that's coming up this weekend, and that'll probably be one of our poll questions next week. I don't want to lump that into a 3-question Thursday. I want this to kind of stand off on its own a little bit. So I think next week, probably next Monday that'll be our poll question. Give me your Stark County high school football top 5.
No, you got to do it on Thursday when we have Antonio. So you can ask him.
You know what? Did I screw up earlier? Antonio's on Wednesdays, right?
Oh, yeah, it is. Did I say Thursday?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Look, listen, that's your job. You tell me when they're coming, and I put them on the air.
Because I put out everything today. I said Antonio Hall 5:35. I'm thinking, wait a minute.
You know
what is today?
You know, honestly.
Yeah, we got Ross's on Thursday.
It's a miracle I know what day of the week it is anymore. I swear to God.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure yesterday I posted it was Wednesday when I posted the post. So
there you go.
I'm doing great over here.
So yeah, so today we got Antonio Hall coming up at 5:35 today. But I think we'll do our Stark County top 5 Monday as our poll question, and we'll kick that around a little bit today. But I think after 5 weeks, you usually have a pretty good idea who's up here and who's chasing, and I think we'll find that out here by the end of the week. But like I said yesterday, the St.Eds Massillon usually, like, that's the runaway top game, like in Ohio. I just don't get that. I don't get that same buzz this year. I don't get that same feeling. And maybe it's because the Tigers have a couple losses. I don't know. Eds is Eds. They just win. They're 4-0 again. But usually that's the big dog game. But I think Hoover Louisville is the big one. I expect a lot of people that have not attended a Louisville Hoover game in the last 5 to 10 years. I think you're going to see those folks out at the stadium on Friday night. I think that's going to be one of the great atmospheres around. And again, it'll be on Q92radiosports.com. It'll be one of our games on Friday night. I think Green Jackson could be sneaky good. I think that could be a sneaky good game. Green battled Hoover all the way to the end last week, just kind of ran out of time. Jackson turned things around a little bit. I believe Lucas Eckerman is back at quarterback for Jackson, and doing well. They put a ton of points up on the board last weekend. Look, they had that bad game against Fitch, but I think they were down to their third string QB that night. I think Jackson Green could be pretty good. Don't sleep on that one. And Perry McKinley, again, of all the teams in the Federal League, Perry has had the most success against McKinley in the past couple of decades. And I would not go to sleep on this game either. I would not. Game's at Perry. Perry will play well at home. Now, they are smarting from that loss to Lake. So I'm sure that woke the Perry Panthers up a little bit. I think that's going to be a good game. That'll be a little bit of a measuring stick for both teams. Agree, Sam, about tickets. Used to get my tickets, season tickets, in a nice envelope with a couple of pocket schedules inside. Well, those days are gone. Remember the big games in the county? Of course, the McKinley Massillon game was always the game. But if there happened to be a game or 2 or 3, you had to go during the week. You had to go stand in line, go to the ticket office, and get your tickets for the big games. They would update you like once a day, moving up until Friday. And if there was still tickets left over, you could go get them. And of course, that's those days are long gone now. But I think most places now, I'm not sure, I don't want to speak out of turn here, but if you want to go get them that night, I think you can at the stadium. And I think at least one window has to take cash. I could be wrong here, but I think I'm right. Because there were a lot of people complaining that if they just wanted to get up and go to a game on a Friday night, you couldn't go. You had to get everything in advance, and you had to get it with an app. So the OHSAA could make a buck off of the hometown ticket app. I mean, that's just what it is. You never needed that before. And I thought for the most part, I thought we got along just fine with it. Right? Just like sticky notes and pens and pencils. I think we communicated well. I know. Yeah, 55-year-old man, you old. Hey, let me tell you something. Let me tell you young bucks something. Just because it's newer doesn't make it better. File that away and look that up in about 10 years. Just because it's newer doesn't mean it's better. That stuff worked just fine. Am I wrong? Am I wrong?
No, I love the idea of...
Yes, a 31-year-old is agreeing with me. I love it.
I love the idea of coming into the office on like a Monday and finding a passive-aggressive sticky note from Friday about something you probably can't even barely remember what it was about.
Right. Nothing wrong with writing down a note.
Like there's a fun nostalgia thing to it.
Yeah.
Sometimes it feels good to just write stuff down for a change.
I've long said this now for several years. We communicate more, but we don't communicate better. It's like quantity over quality. Yeah, we're communicating all right, but it's not getting it. Sometimes it's just not getting where it needs to go. Just doesn't get where it needs to go. But I'm pretty sure some or not all schools, I think you can still go to the games that night and get a ticket at the game. But I'm not sure if you can just walk up and use cash or if you still have to use the app. I'm not sure how that works yet. Thank goodness I don't have to worry about that. I just have to get permission from the athletic director. Or Christian sets that up for us, and we pack up our equipment.
Yeah, we're paying them to be there.
That's true.
Oh.
So we should actually be able to just go in.
We get the VIP treatment.
And now I'm kind of lucky on Fridays because I get to these stadiums at like 2, 1:45. I usually get a pretty good parking spot because I'm there about 6 hours before the game. So that works out pretty well. But yeah, that's one of the perks. By the way, we'll be at the University of Mount Union here Friday night. The Sam Bourquin Show live at 3 p.m. from the Dom Capers press box, and then the pregame at 6:30. Then Alliance will take on Canton Central Catholic at 7 o'clock right here on AM 1310 WDPN. Love working out of Mount's press box. Love it. I wish you could take the windows out though. I'm gonna keep pounding the pavement on that.
I haven't set foot in Mount's press box in over a decade, and I still hate those windows.
It's a beaut because I remember what the old press box used to be like when I first broke into radio. It was not a great place to work out of. It was not a great place to work out of. But when they redid and Mr. Capers stroked a nice little check. And that Mounts, well, yeah, they've got the best. They got the best press box facilities around. Besides Benson, but I don't count that because that's not really a high school. Well, we don't really know what Tom Benson Stadium is anymore, do we? We don't know who has that place. But yeah, Mounts by far best press box to work out of. Absolutely great. All right, we got about 7 minutes till the top of the hour. Keep the texts, keep the emails, keep the comments coming on all of our social media platforms. Don't forget Matt Underwood, Cleveland Guardians TV, 410, as we talk a little guards ball here on the Sam Bourquin Show. Until then, stay with us, 1310 WDPN.
Music and intelligence for your life.
No matter what anybody tells you, words and ideas can change the world.
I'm John Tesh, and we couldn't be happier about bringing you intelligence for your life every day. We have a room full of researchers gathering the information and ideas you need to make your life simpler and better. and to make you the smartest person in the room. Join me for Music and Intelligence for Your Life, 10 to 3, Monday through Saturday, only on AM 1310 WDPM.
You heard it on the John Tesh Radio Show.
Canton's about to get a whole lot more colorful.
Mural Fest is back, and this year, 9 brand new murals are hitting downtown walls.
Be there for the big unveiling, Saturday, September 27th, from 1 to 4 p.m.
Live music, food, and a free downtown art experience you don't want to miss. 9 murals, 1 community, endless inspiration.
Mural Fest Canton, Saturday, September 27th, 1 to 4 p.m. in downtown Canton. Free and open to all. Check out muralfestcanton.com for more info.
This place has a pulse. You hear it in the canopy, feel it in the ground. Life, fully illuminated, engulfs you. From the birds singing in the treetops above to the tiniest insects in the soil below, you take a deep, cleansing breath, filling your lungs with the essence of the forest. Now, imagine it's all gone. Healthy, life-giving forests reduced to nothing. No singing birds, no lush canopy, and water and food in short supply around the world. Time is running out to protect our forests, and without our love, they can and will disappear. It's our choice. Love it or lose it. Help protect our forests. Visit World Wildlife Fund at wwf.org/love.
AM 1310 WDPN. Welcome back to the Sam Bourquin Show. All right, my guy Garth over at Minerva, the home of the resurging Minerva Lions, says, yes, Sammy, all high schools are required to offer a cash option at the gate. Awesome. So if you still just want to, you decide at 4 o'clock on a Friday, hey, let's go check out this game. You can still do it. Take your cash and go get your ticket. Now, my next question would be, is it a higher price to use the cash option? It just kind of popped into my head.
When did that become the standard? It used to be the other way around. You used to have to pay more if it was a card because of the
because of the
what
do they call that, a surcharge or whatever?
Yeah, surcharge.
Yeah, surcharge. That's hard for me. That's hard for me to say. Surcharge. I don't know why, but it is. But yeah. That's right. That it used to be. And now, in a lot of restaurants, when you get your bill at the bottom, it'll give you the total, it'll give you the tax, and it'll say, if paying for cash, this is your amount. If you're paying with card, this will be your amount. And if you pay with cash, your bill is cheaper by like, I don't know, a couple of dollars. So yeah, I just started noticing that, I don't know, the last 3 or 4 times we've all gone out to eat. It is going to be, it's going to be fun this weekend because I think this might be like a little separator weekend. This might be a little separator weekend when we figure out, okay, who's at the A level, who's at the B level, and who's at the C level, like in the middle of the pack. I think about 10 o'clock, by 10 o'clock on Friday, we're going to know quite a bit. And I think that's what makes it, that's going to make it fun. Because then we can all kind of strap in and get ready for the next 5 weeks of football, and we'll have a little bit of an idea. Okay, here's what we need to keep an eye on. This is maybe what we're going to expect out of this team. Let's look at the schedule of these teams over here, and let's follow and see how this plays out. I know in college football they used to have these catchy little themes on the weekend, like revenge weekend, separation Saturday, whatever, rivalry weekend, all that stuff. This is like a separation weekend for me. Because maybe for the first time, some of these schools, their competition is going to go up a little bit. Like Cupcake City is over now for everybody. Once you get to week 5, there are no more. It's usually pretty good football. You're in the first week or 2 of your conference schedule, and this is when you find out, okay, who are the men, who are the boys? All right, who's the varsity, who's the JV? And I think we're going to find out a lot about a couple of our teams this weekend. And that to me is exciting because now we'll have a little clearer picture moving forward of what it's going to look like. And not to say that teams can't, rise off the scrap heap in week 7, 8, 9, 10 and start to surge a little bit. Maybe some teams are getting healthy. They got off to a slow start for whatever reason. But usually at the end of week 5, we know. We know who's who. And at that point, you just hope everybody gets to stay as healthy as they possibly can so they can put their best foot forward as they move on through the second 5 weeks and into the postseason. Antonio Hall, Q92 Sports. Don't forget, we'll be talking ball with Hall, 5:35 today here on AM 1310 WDPN and the Sam Bourquin Show. Poll question of the day, Week 5 high school football matchup in Stark County. Which is the best game? Eds Massillon, Perry McKinley, Louisville Hoover, Jackson Green. Let us know on all of our social media platforms, and we will continue to monitor those results as they come in, and we'll read those to you throughout the afternoon. But coming up next is all the news and all the weather. We'll see what's going on in your world today here on AM 1310 WDPN. The Sam Bourquin Show returns in just a bit.
An Alliance tradition for over half a century. You can always count on WDPN Alliance.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. The Fed board lowering interest rates by 1/4 point today. It's the first rate cut this year. Chair Jerome Powell says the balance of risk for the economy has shifted.
While the unemployment rate remains low, it has edged up. Job gains have slowed and downside risks to employment have risen. At the same time, inflation has risen recently and remains somewhat elevated.
The rate cut should help ease borrowing costs for both businesses and Americans. President Trump and the First Lady are in the UK for a state visit hosted by the British royal family. They'll attend a state dinner at Windsor Castle tonight. Israeli forces continuing its military push into Gaza City, leading to mass evacuations, displacing an estimated 400,000 Palestinians. The U.S. is backing the military operation. Other countries have denounced it. In Utah, suspect Tyler Robinson facing 7 charges in the fatal shooting of Charlie Kirk. Authorities say Robinson remains held without bond and in isolation. This is ABC News.
Hear that? That's what having fewer hot flashes and night sweats can sound like. Veoza is the #1 prescribed hormone-free treatment FDA approved for moderate to severe vasomotor symptoms, also known as hot flashes and night sweats, due to menopause. Veoza can cause serious side effects, including liver problems. Your doctor will do blood tests before and during treatment. Stop Veoza and call your doctor if you have symptoms of liver problems, such as feeling more tired than usual, decreased appetite, nausea, vomiting, itching, yellowing of the eyes or skin, pale stool, dark urine, or stomach pain. Don't use Veoza if you have cirrhosis, severe kidney problems, kidney failure, or take CYP1A2 inhibitors. Ask your doctor about Veoza. To learn more, call 1-866-239-1637 or go to Veoza.com. That's VEOZAH.com.
Now, the latest Alliance area news from Jeff Mears on AM 1310 WDPN.
Good afternoon. It's 4:02. This news is a service of Lisa's Dream Getaways. The president of the company planning to purchase Hall of Fame Resort and Entertainment has granted an extension of a merger agreement. The Securities and Exchange Commission says Stuart Lichter agreed to change the expiration date of the deal from today to September 30th. He's president of Industrial Realty Group and president of HOFV Holdings, which is set to buy the owner and operator of the Hall of Fame Village. Lichter issued a termination notice September 5th after the company failed to get all creditors to agree to the merger's conditions. Industrial Realty and its affiliates are not expected to loan the Hall of Fame Village additional money, but the village's borrowing capacity was increased by $2 million to $17 million. Shareholders are scheduled to meet September 25th to vote on a proposal to take Hall of Fame Resort private. It failed to receive enough votes Tuesday. 2024 presidential candidate and former biotech pharmaceutical company CEO Vivek Ramaswamy says the correct response to political violence is doubling down on our culture of free speech. The Republican gubernatorial candidate spoke Tuesday at a Stark County GOP event in Jackson Township. A small group of protesters was outside. The repository reports Ramaswamy said violence is never an acceptable response to words. He expressed concern about how the killing of conservative activist Charlie Kirk would affect the willingness of Kirk's supporters to express their views. Ramaswamy also said if elected, he would eliminate Ohio's income tax and lower property taxes, but did not provide specifics. He also pledged to cut red tape and relax business permitting requirements and address deficiencies in the state's education system. The Alliance School District's performance in the Ohio Report Card is being praised by Superintendent Rob Gress. During Tuesday's Board of Education meeting, he said the district received 3 stars and met all standards for the second consecutive year. That hasn't happened in at least 5 years. Gress credits teachers and students. Elizabeth Hibbs, director of the Early Childhood Education Alliance, gave a presentation about the nonprofit agency's support of early education initiatives for families and early learning centers in Alliance. The board approved the appointments of certified and classified staff, supplemental assignments, and the resignations of certified and classified employees. Routine business was handled Monday by Washington Township trustees. The zoning department reported 1 permit issued, and the board discussed a property on Winchester Street. The fire department reported 36 runs this month, with 402 in the year-to-date. Trustees approved $2,300 in repairs for truck number 5, which is out of service. Fiscal Officer Jimmy Jones was appointed the board's representative to the Ohio Township Association Risk Management Authority. Trustee Wayne Wallace was named alternate. Trustees approved payment of bills totaling $13,544. A charge of misdemeanor criminal damaging has been leveled at former Liverpool Township Police Chief Jason Jackson. He's accused of slashing the tires of a vehicle owned by the victim of a December 2024 assault. Jackson was arraigned Tuesday in Columbiana County Municipal Court. Bond for the 52-year-old Liverpool Township man was set at $5,000. The alleged incident occurred September 5th. A pretrial hearing is slated for September 25th. Jackson was accused of choking a woman and giving her a bloody nose during an incident at his home. He recently pleaded no contest to an amended assault charge and was sentenced to 19 days in jail. A pair of Kent State University students face federal charges in an internet scam. 24-year-old Tuadol Tuhin and 23-year-old Iftikhar Neon of Kent are charged with wire fraud and conspiracy to commit wire fraud, money laundering, and conspiracy to commit money laundering. They were arrested Tuesday and booked at the Mahoning County Jail. Tuhin and Neon allegedly collected money from elderly people who were targeted by schemes involving fake tech support calls or callers who claimed to be a government official. The activity occurred in March and April of this year. Some of the victims were in Ohio and Western New York. The suspects reportedly made thousands of dollars while attending Kent State and in the U.S. on student visas. Losses and attempted losses totaled $267,000. 4 men secretly indicted for attacking a man in a Boardman bar are in custody. Kyle Patterson, Tyler DeGoda, Luke Collins, and Caleb Gerhardt are charged with felonious assault. They were arrested Thursday and are scheduled for arraignment Tuesday in Mahoning County Common Pleas Court. On January 12th, a man told police he was assaulted by 4 men in double bogeys at Southern Park Mall. Patterson allegedly had argued with the victim at another bar, and the suspects were in the restroom when he went inside. The victim suffered cuts and bruises and a possible broken foot. A faulty air conditioning unit is getting the blame for the odor of smoke that prompted firefighters to visit a courthouse in downtown Youngstown. Crews were called to the Thomas Lambros Federal Building and Courthouse around 8 p.m. Tuesday. There was no fire. A maintenance crew was called in to inspect the unit. No one was hurt. A federal grand jury has indicted a third person in a fatal shooting outside a Warren convenience store. 37-year-old Sean King of Warren is charged with being a felon in possession of ammunition. 32-year-old Jamal Rowe of Warren was previously charged with being a felon in possession of a firearm and ammunition. 25-year-old Ray John McElroy of Warren faces the same charges. On August 3rd, 31-year-old David Owens was shot and killed, and a second man was wounded on Elm Road Northeast. Police say the shooting occurred during a fight that broke out during a dice game. It's 84 degrees in Alliance at 407. This is the local edition of WDPN News, a service of Lisa's Dream Getaways Travel Agency. Call 330-428-0610 to bring your dreams to life with travel. I'm Jeff Mears.
Dreaming of your next getaway? Lisa's Dream Getaways Travel Agency is a locally woman-owned travel agency helping you see the world. Lisa books any and all types of travel, honeymoons, all-inclusive, cruises, Disney, along with bachelor and bachelorette trips and destination weddings with low deposit, and you set your monthly payments. Mention Q92 to get $50 on board cruise, credit, cabin, or $150 off your non-canceled vacation or honeymoon. Call 330-428-0610. Lisa's Dream Getaways Travel Agency. If you don't go, you won't know.
This WDPN weather is brought to you by Canterbury Villa of Alliance, where your loved ones become family. Schedule a free visit today by calling 330-821-4000.
Your forecast for this afternoon, calling for sunny skies and a high near 84 degrees. Overnight, mostly clear, a low around 52, some patchy fog early in the morning. Thursday, areas of fog early, otherwise sunny, a high of 85. Friday, mostly sunny, a high near 80. Saturday is sunshine, a high of 83. That's your WDPN weather.
Send your loved ones to a place that cares and a place that they can trust. They'll find a place that feels like home at Canterbury Villa in Alliance. They will provide the highest level of care to their residents when it comes to skilled nursing, rehabilitation, long-term care, and Alzheimer's care. At Canterbury Villa, your loved ones become family. Located on Freshley Avenue, schedule a free visit today by calling 330-821-4000 and ask for Samantha Nutter. At Canterbury Villa, they walk the talk.
Live from the AM 1310 WDPN studio, it's time for live and local sports talk. It's the Sam Bourquin Show.
I'm ready.
Give the show a call at 330-821-1310.
Good call, meatball.
Watch the Sam Bourquin Show on the AM 1310 Facebook page, the Q92 YouTube page, and on X. This is the Sam Bourquin Show on AM 1310 WDPN.
Line drive, left center field. That's going to get down. That's in the alley. Juan will score. Angel's around second, on his way to third. Here's the relay throw. He's in there safely with an RBI triple. And the Guardians lead by 2. That one came from left center. Jose shoots one down the left field line. Fair ball. That's into the corner. Scoring is Angel Martinez. Infield in for Arias, who drives one to right field near the line. That will be a fair ball. Ramirez scores. Manzardo stops at third. Throw goes all the way to home, and Arias says, "Thank you very much. I'll go to second base."
Fly ball, right field, foul pole. It is fair and gone. Number 55, Cal Raleigh.
Line drive down the right field line. That one is over the head and out of the ballpark. It hit the top of the fence, went out of the yard. A 3-run lightning bolt by Rafael Marchand. And the Phillies have retaken the lead.
All right, great action last night in the MLB. Shout out to Cleveland Guardians, CLE Guardians TV. Audio call from Maddie and Rick as, you know, a couple of heart palpitations last night. But the Guards get it done, 79-71. The record now, they're on a win streak. They've won 5 in a row, and they're still cooking. They still got time. Now, there's not that much time left to go, but they still have some time. So let's enjoy every one of these ball games. They all have that. These games all feel like late September, early October, don't they? I mean, last night, the drama, the adrenaline was ratcheted up times 10. That's just the kind of ball game that it was. And the good guys came out on top. Can they keep it going tonight? Let's find out. Let's check in with our man, Matt Underwood, CLE Guardians TV. He is the television play-by-play voice of the Cleveland Guardians. And, man, what a roller coaster ride it has been. Matty, welcome into the show. How you doing this afternoon?
I'm good, Sam. How are you?
Good, man. I appreciate you taking the time today. I know you're busy up in Motown, and Oh, these games are so big now. But wow, what was going through the Guardians TV broadcast booth last night in innings 8, 9, and 10? How were we feeling?
Well, it had the feel of a postseason game just because there was so much intensity, so much drama. You had the back and forth. There's a lot on the line, really, for both clubs. Maybe more so for Cleveland because they're in chase mode, but also for the Tigers because they want to wrap this up. They want to get it done so they can get ready for October baseball should they advance. So it had a lot of drama, and that makes it fun for me as an announcer. Obviously, it would have been nice to see Cade Smith just finish the deal there in the ninth, but it just added another level of intrigue to the way that game unfolded last night. And it also shows you, it may sound cliche, but this club has a lot of resilience. I mean, every time you think they're done, every time they've had a losing spell and you think, well, that's it, they're going to sink into the sand, they rise from the dead and come fighting back. And last night was another great example of that. Game tying home run, 2 outs, bottom of the ninth. How do they respond? Oh, just 4 runs off the Tigers closer in the 10th inning, and they win it going away.
Yeah, it's been something, and I'll be the first to admit I've thrown dirt on this team 5 or 6 times the last 2 months. It's just like, and then the old thing, they suck you back in. Well, here we go. It's like Dirt Devil, man. I'm here. I'm ready to go. Now I'm going to be mad if things don't go our way. But you talked about resiliency, and I think a lot of that comes from Stephen Vogt. A lot of it comes from guys like Kwani and Jose. And by the way, happy birthday to Jose Ramirez today and some other guys on the club. It's like they all kind of feed. They're all drinking the same juice right now. And I don't know what it is, Maddie, if it's just this time of the year, it's September, they're reliving the good vibes from last season, but it's working. I don't know how or what, but it's working, and I'm good with that.
The most important thing has been the starting pitching. It has been just outstanding. During this stretch where they've won 10 out of 11, the starting pitching is a lot about a run and a half a game. And when you go out and get that kind of consistent pitching night in, night out, and then the bullpen, outside of Cade Smith's hiccup last night, the bullpen has been impenetrable. So when you get that kind of pitching, the offense doesn't feel the strain. The offense doesn't feel like it has to go out and do something out of the ordinary. Mm-hmm. And a lot of nights, Rick said it last night. He's probably said it game 150, 151 tonight. Probably said it about 150 times this year. You're not going to score 5-6 runs a game consistently. But what this team does is they play well in close games. They've had more close games. Best records in 1- and 2-run games this year. Guardians are 47 and 32. So in those close games, they found ways to win, and that's why they're in the position they're in right now.
Game 151 tonight, Detroit, Cleveland Guardians TV. Check it out. The action gets going at 6:40 tonight from Comerica Park in downtown Detroit. Now, we've all been kind of really caught up, and justifiably so, in the wild card race. And I know it would take us something kind of crazy. But, Matt, the fact that we're only 5.5 out from the division, to me, is absolutely incredible.
Yeah, five back in the loss column. So,
right.
You almost have to sweep this series to give yourselves a legitimate shot to run down Detroit. But, Gavin Williams wins tonight. Now, all of a sudden, they might get a little tight in that other dugout. And so then, it sets up the 3 games next week in Cleveland. Those could be really, really exciting baseball games. And that's what you hope for. You just hope to have an opportunity if those games really mean something for both teams, not maybe just Cleveland.
Now, I know the team is not necessarily doing, although they may take a peek once in a while, but we in the media and the fans, we're scoreboard watching like crazy. So to kind of set everybody straight here, who are we needing or wanting to lose here in the next 7-10 days? Are we hoping that the Astros go down, that the Red Sox go down? What do we need as far as help, as long as we take care of our own business?
Yeah, I think you kind of hit the nail on the head there. So Seattle, I mean, they're unconscious right now. They may not lose another game the rest of the year. I think they've won 10 in a row. So if Seattle just keeps winning, let them keep winning, because if they can maybe knock off some of the other participants, namely Houston, that would help us. But I think that the team to really keep an eye on right now is the Boston Red Sox. Ever since Roman Anthony went down, they have gone sideways. They're not the same team without the dynamic ability of Roman Anthony. I mean, one guy should not make that big of a difference in a lineup, but certainly they're not playing that well right now. And so who knows? You know, the Red Sox right now are the closest we're the closest to Boston of anybody in that wild card race. 2 games back of the Red Sox in the loss column. So I'd keep an eye on the Red Sox score first and foremost.
All right, we'll be doing that. Of course, they've got the A's the next couple of nights. Then they go down to Tampa to play the Rays, and Tampa's never an easy out, so maybe we can get a little help down there from the Rays. Matt Underwood is our guest, the television play-by-play voice of the Cleveland Guardians TV. Ian Arch will be on the call tonight, 6:40, Guardians and the Tigers. All right, I know we've talked about this every time we have visited this year, but wow, the dynamic duo of Stephen Kwan and Jose Ramirez, they just keep giving it to us, Matt. They never run out of gas.
Yeah, and it's incredible because, you know, for Stephen Kwan, he went through a little spell there where he was struggling offensively, but you just knew sooner or later he was going to figure it out. And here in the month of September, you know, he's gotten hot again. You know, he scored, 11 runs in his last 20 ball games now with 9 runs batted in, hitting around 300. So he's picked up the pace. You knew Jose was going to get hot again. He's been more productive here in the month of September. And, you know, that 10th inning, that 10th inning last night does not happen without the Stephen Kwan leadoff double. He rips it down the line inside the bag. That gets it going, and Jose followed with the, or actually it was Angel Martinez who followed with the triple, and then Jose with the double, and they were off and running. So those 2 guys have been important, but for me, Sam, the most important guy in this lineup has been the emergence of Kyle Manzardo, because it has given them another guy that teams have to think about. They've got a game plan. Pitchers have to, you know, be careful when you face Kyle Manzardo, because he's sitting there with 26 home runs right behind Jose for the team lead, and also in runs batted in. So just that one more productive hitter in the lineup has made this a little more dynamic lineup.
Looks like Manzardo's going to be in the 4 spot tonight. Kwan's going to lead off. Valera will bat second, then Jose, Manzardo, Bo, Gabby, Nolan, CJ, and then Rocchio to round things out. I'm looking at the pitching matchup tonight. Gavin Williams, it looks like they're going to go with Flaherty. I mean, gee whiz, his ERA is almost at 5, and the big rig is really pitching well. What's the biggest thing you've seen out of Gavin the last 4 or 5 starts? Is it just he's got control of his stuff, the location setting? What is it?
I think if you go back farther than that, Sam, you know, he was having trouble just commanding the baseball with his fastball, and they introduced, you know, a 2-seamer, a cutter, give him a couple of pitches that he can throw, maybe not as much velocity, but with more command to get himself ahead in counts. And that's been a big difference maker for me watching Gavin. In his last 12 starts, he's pitched to a 2.30 ERA. He's 5-1. The team seems like they win every time he goes out there. He's not walking as many hitters. He's been in attack mode. You're seeing truly the emergence of the guy who we thought we were getting when he first came to the big leagues, but we know it doesn't happen overnight.
Sure.
He is developing into a number one, a frontline starter right before our eyes.
You know, we've got a couple different parts this year. We're minus 2 or 3 guys for different things. But is there still a way that as a group, as a whole, that the guys have kind of taken a little bit about what happened last year and it's helping them along this year? Is it 2 completely different seasons, 2 completely different things?
Well, yes and no. I think you do have to separate, you know, what happened last year. You've got to put that aside. And, you know, every year is different. But I think where this team has benefited from what they went through last year is right now, because they have this ability to kind of treat each game like its own separate event. And that's hard to do. So we all get caught up in yesterday, tomorrow, next week. They have an ability to just say, hey, let's worry about today and nothing else. And having that mindset has prepared them for games and series like this right now, because they're not making this too big, because they've literally approached every game the same way. And I think that's an important thing. Rick talks about it all the time. You have to have a consistent approach to play Major League Baseball, because it is every single day. You can't get crazy high because you won 3 or 4 in a row, and you can't be walking around with your head down because you lost 5 or 6 straight. You have to bring the same energy, the same approach, the same fundamentals that, these guys work at their craft day in, day out. They do it the same way every single day, so that when you get to this point in the season, even though we are pumping these games up, we're hyping it up, Their approach is very similar to what it was yesterday, the day before, and the day before that.
Kind of a branch question off of that, Matty. You guys being close to the team and around them all the time, what's the vibe that's coming off? I mean, to me, and we're a million miles away, but they don't seem tight. They don't seem anxious. They know how big the moment is, but they're just kind of, you talked about that even keel, but I mean, these are humongous games, but they just don't throw off that vibe of, oh my gosh, we're looking over our shoulder every night.
Well, and also, don't forget, what they've done well for a long time now, what this group has picked up from groups past, is they play well in the division. Now, whether that's familiarity, but there's a confidence. I mean, they come into the series, the Tigers are not that far removed from having the best record in baseball, and yet our guys aren't in awe of the Tigers because they see them a lot. They look forward to these matchups, just like they do when they play the White Sox or the Royals or the Twins or anybody else. In the division, it's a different kind of baseball. Kansas City, for example, we just had them at home. Those were big games for both clubs, and our guys went out there and steamrolled them. So they have a confidence because I think there's no mystery here. They know what to expect, just like the Tigers know what to expect. But our guys have done a really nice job of playing well in these games.
Has there been a little bit of an underlying unsung hero, not just in the starting nine, but maybe the entire clubhouse that's kind of helped stir this thing along a little bit in your eyes?
Well, I mean, I think there are always guys that have played well that maybe you didn't see coming. I think look, Brian Rocchio, for me, what happened to him this year, he gets demoted, goes to the minor leagues. Arias takes over at shortstop. But while he's in the minor leagues, they send word down, we want you to start working at second base. He'd never played second base before. But rather than kick rocks and pout or some kind of macho thing, say, well, I'm a shortstop, I'm not a second baseman, like we've seen, other places, Brian Rocchio put his head down and turned himself into a really good second baseman. To me, that's been huge for this team because now you've got another premium defender on the other side of the infield to pair with Arias. And when Roque came back, he was really swinging the bat well. Now, he's cooled off here the last couple of weeks, but I think that mentality, that selfless, team first kind of thing is what Steve Vogt has tried to promote. A lot of these guys have bought in, and I think that's why they're sitting where they're at right now.
All right. Well, we'll keep enjoying this ride. Matt Underwood, play-by-play voice, the Guardians on Cleveland Guardians TV. Matty, always a pleasure, man. Keep things going in Motown. Safe travels to Minnesota, and let's maybe catch up here sooner than later and maybe talking about some postseason ball. Have a good one.
Well, Sam, it's nice talking to you, and it's nice to see you also.
Okay, I got my rubber ducks hat on. I got my ducks hat on tonight. Matty, always a pleasure, brother. Take care.
Take care.
There he goes. Matt Underwood, the play-by-play voice of the Guardians on Cleveland Guardians TV. 6:40 tonight. Cleveland and Detroit. Flaherty and the Big Rig. Big Gavin tonight. Come on, fellas. Keep it going. No more heart attacks tonight, though. Man, last night I thought I was going to have to go get some Tums. It was that bad. But we got it done. We got it done. All right, let's take a break. 25 minutes after the hour. We'll take a break. Don't forget, you can leave comments for us on all of our 1310 social media platforms and, of course, our Q92 radio page on YouTube as well. We'll take a break and come back. Stay with us.
You've always enjoyed an active lifestyle, hiking with family, resort vacations, the occasional trip to the spa, and nights out with friends at your favorite restaurants. You want and need your lifestyle to follow you into your retirement years. Now, imagine a place with peaceful surroundings, resort amenities, and easy access to city life. It's just around the corner at Copeland Oaks. Copeland Oaks has earned a reputation as more than a retirement destination, but also a place to call home. An independent consultant for senior living rated Copeland Oaks with a perfect score, and it's easy to see why. Maintain your lifestyle on the beautiful Copeland Oaks campus with all the amenities you love, and if you need it down the road, assistance is there. Keep living your life to its fullest at Copeland Oaks, your all-inclusive senior living resort. Visit CopelandOaks.com for more information. That's CopelandOaks.com.
Hey, Max, you look absolutely dashing in that purple tie. Ready to harness the world?
You bet, Daisy. I'm ready as I'll ever be. And might I say, your purple tie really pops with your vest.
Thanks. I almost went with a cape, but didn't want to come across as pretentious.
Nonsense. Anyone in our line of work should rock a cape.
You might be onto something, Max.
Phew. So here we go. First day on the job. You've got this, right?
Right. Don't forget, we both graduated from Dogs Inc. with honors.
Which means I can guide my human around a busy city with ease.
And I can give my human a restful night.
I hope my human is kind and loving.
And I hope mine likes wet kisses and zoomies.
Ready to make a difference?
Born ready. Let's go.
Discover how extraordinary dogs like Daisy and Max change lives at no cost to the recipients. Visit dogsinc.org.
Welcome back to the show, 1310 WDPN, the Sam Bourquin program. Thanks to Matt Underwood, Cleveland Guardians TV, for spending a couple of minutes with us today. Live from Comerica Park is Maddie and the boys are getting ready to bring you the Guardians and Tigers tonight on the TV at 6:40, the first pitch. And Gavin Williams and Jack Flaherty, the pitching matchup tonight in Motown. Ooh, if the Guardians win tonight, then we'll be 4.5 out. You think the Tigers aren't getting a little squeamish? And let's and I hate to do this because it always backfires. Let's just say we sweep. Let's just say we sweep. And now we leave Detroit and we're only 3.5 out of first place. Then we're going to Minnesota. Right now, folks, the Twins are 66-85. They're 4-6 in their last 10. Then we have Detroit again, and then we have Texas. So that's how it shapes up. You know what? I badmouth the organization a lot. A lot of people do. Some won't admit it, but I'll admit it. I do. I bashed the ownership. I don't know how they're doing this. I don't know if it's a combination of we are in the Central Division. But, Kansas City's 500. Detroit's 20 games over 500. Minnesota, Chicago, not so much. But we took 3 out of 4 from the Rays, who are now they're under 500. But still, you had to go down there and kind of create your own atmosphere because there's nobody at the game. I hope that series against Seattle doesn't come back to bite us in the rear end. That was a tough pill to swallow there. And the Mariners are just on fire. They've won 10 in a row. They can't keep that up. Cal Raleigh, you better check him. What does he have, 50? How many home runs for Cal Raleigh? I had the story printed out here. He's got 55, 56 home runs. Guy's never hit that many home runs in his life. But whatever. They're having a heck of a year. But you know what? The Mariners don't play well on the road. I was looking at their splits. They're 48-27 at home. They're 35-41 on the road. Now, you got to win a road game once in a while to advance. But the Guardians they're playing hard, man. They're playing hard. We're going to check in with Stephen Vogt and Stephen Kwan here coming up after the bottom of the hour news and weather, and we'll do that when we get back. 1310 WDPN.
Now, the latest area news on AM 1310 WDPN.
Good afternoon. It's 4:02. The Federal Reserve cut its key interest rate by 1/4 point today and projected it would do so twice more this year as concern grows at the central bank about the health of the nation's labor market. The move is the Fed's first cut since December and lowered its short-term rate to about 4.1%, down from 4.3%. Fed officials, led by Chair Jerome Powell, had kept the rate unchanged this year as they evaluated the impact of tariffs, tighter immigration enforcement, and other Trump administration policies on inflation and the economy. The only dissenter was Stephen Mirren, the recent Trump appointee. Susan Menares, the former CDC director who was fired by Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr., says public health in the United States is in a tenuous position. She testified before the Senate Health Committee and walked senators on the panel through the reasons why she was let go after only weeks on the job. Menares says she wouldn't pre-approve vaccine recommendations without scientific evidence, and also said she wouldn't agree to firing top CDC officials without concrete reasons.
Even under pressure, I could not replace evidence with ideology or compromise my integrity.
Kennedy denies the accusations he ordered rubber-stamped vaccine recommendations. Israeli troops and tanks are pushing deeper into Gaza City as more people flee the devastated area. Strikes cut off phone and internet services Tuesday, making it harder for Palestinians to call ambulances during the military's new offensive. Meanwhile, the Palestinian death toll in the Israel-Hamas war surpassed 65,000. The Israeli military said Air Force and artillery units struck the city more than 150 times in the last few days, ahead of ground troops moving in. The offensive began Monday and aims to take full control of the city. Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger says he's running for governor in 2026. The Republican made the announcement today. Raffensperger famously rejected Donald Trump's request to overturn the 2020 election results in Georgia, a state he lost to Democrat Joe Biden. Raffensperger is likely to aim his appeal at Republicans who have at times been lukewarm on Trump. Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones and Attorney General Chris Carr are already seeking the GOP nomination. Raffensperger won re-election in 2022 despite Trump's opposition. Although he starts later than other major candidates, voters already know who Raffensperger is. Plus, the engineering entrepreneur can self-finance his campaign. It's 84 degrees and Alliance at 432. This is WDPN News. I'm Jeff Mears.
Now, the Alliance Area Weather Forecast on AM 1310 WDPN.
Sunny skies in the forecast for this afternoon with a high near 84 degrees. Overnight, mostly clear, a low near 52. Early patchy fog on Thursday. Otherwise sunny with a high near 85. Friday, mostly sunny, a high of 80. Sunshine Saturday, a high of 83. That's your WDPN weather.
Welcome back, 1310 WDPN. Sam Bourquin Show on another gorgeous day here in Alliance. Just, man, put this weather in a bottle and put a lid on it, and let's keep it. And let's ride this all the way through. Hope you're having a great day. Thanks for checking us out, too, on 1310 WDPN radio and in your car, your computer, your tablet, your phone. Wherever you are today on all of our social media platforms. If you're watching us on YouTube, we certainly do appreciate you. And thanks for hanging out with us. And while you're at it, drop us a comment or hit that subscribe button. If you're watching on YouTube today, we certainly would appreciate that as well.
Just like Matt on Facebook, he said, "Hi, Sam, you rock. I love your station. Keep working hard."
Thank you, Matt.
We appreciate
Thanks,
that.
Matt Underwood. We appreciate that, buddy.
No. Different Matt. Don't get it twisted.
That was kind of cool. Remember the last time we had Matt Underwood on was, I looked back on my phone. I think it was about 5 weeks ago, maybe, because I don't like to bother these guys too much. Once a month, maybe I reach out. And I got word that he had shouted out our show that night on the air. The Guardians were in, and he put our names out there and our station, so that was kind of cool. We appreciate
that. Pretty cool. We deeply appreciate that.
You bet. So, hope everybody's having a great day. Jeff Mears working hard back in the 1310 WDPN newsroom. Oh, I know what I wanted to say. Okay, here I go. This is my mindless, aimless scatterbrain. Let's see here. What was it that I just told you about 5 minutes ago about 77 North and 76, that there were again, I don't know this. This was just on a site, and this site's usually pretty decent.
I'm going to go grab Jeff and ask him.
That there were military vehicles on the 77 North and 76, and they were checking vehicles. I mean, I don't know if that's to be true or not, but I was kind of scrolling by and I I saw that. So I don't know. If you're out there and you've been stopped, let us know. Let us know what's going on out there. In the meantime, our show poll question of the day. A lot of real good high school football games this Friday night. Which is the best matchup? Which is the best matchup in high school football here this Friday? Is it St.Eds Massillon? Is it Perry McKinley? Is it Louisville Hoover? Or is it Jackson and Green? Let me know on our social media platforms. We'll pass along those results to you throughout the afternoon. Don't forget, this Friday, it is another big high school football weekend here on WDPN and the Q92 Sports Network. Friday afternoon, I'll be doing my show from Mount Union. Alliance will take on Canton Central Catholic Friday night. You can join me and Caleb Norick for the call at 7. Clint and the boys will have Lakewood St. Edwards at Massillon Friday night on Q92 Radio, and on the Q92radiosports.com. We'll have 5 games for you that night, and we invite you to check those out. Central Catholic and Alliance is on the AM. We will have Canton South Northwest, Hoover Louisville, Minerva St. Thomas, Green Jackson, and Perry McKinley. Those games all on Q92radiosports.com. Martin says, Hoover Louisville, Sammy, top billing on Friday night. He says, I will be there. Marcus says, Hoover Louisville, hands down, best game this weekend. Dante, Sammy, got to go with Massillon and St. Ed's. Still big boy divisions, and it'll be a big boy game. Chris just sent me a logo of the polar bear. All right, Smooter, I know where you're at. I know where your heart is there. Lisa says St. Edwards at Massillon. St. Ed's at Massillon. You mean? Oh, I get it. It's sarcasm. Okay. There was no question mark. Now I get it. Okay. She says St. Louis and Massillon. You mean there are other games Friday night, Sam? Okay, I got you. I just didn't see the question mark there. Let's see here.
Got Jeff on Facebook says St.Eds V Massillon. Hopefully St.Eds beats Massillon.
Ooh. Tigers have won the last 2, I think. Maybe they may have won the last. I know they won the last 2 because they won up in Lakewood last year. They won. No, I think they've won 3 in a row. But boy, this Eds team is good. They're good. They're always good. Coach Lombardo does a fantastic job with that program. Matter of fact, I wanted to read you a couple of things about this Massillon St. Ed's game. A couple of the kids. When did our printer start printing on both sides of the paper? Is that a thing? Jeffrey, how you doing? It's a thing. Does it always do that now? Why does it do that?
We're just
Okay. Just some of the guys playing for St. Ed's. They got a young man named Mason Wilhelm. He's 6'4", 290. He's going to North Carolina to go play for Bill Belichick. Receiver Zach Hackelman. He is going to Toledo. Braden Thomas, defensive back, going to Michigan State. Borden Moore, going to Western Michigan. Good grief. All right, so they got talent all over the place, just like they do every year. Ed's last beat, okay, I was right. St. Ed's last beat the Tigers back in 2021. 35-18. So Massillon has won the last 3 meetings. 31-28, 15-13, and 31-24. Okay. All right.
By the way,
I imagine St. Ed's is pretty ticked off. They're probably ready.
That was Jeff coming in to let us know that the military vehicles on 77 and 76 is not true.
Not true.
That has a whole bunch of hooey.
All right. Well, whoever you numcompoops were on Facebook to put that out there, shame on you. Quit spreading stuff that's false.
I think the problem is people just share without looking. Let's read the headline and be like, well, that sounds crazy.
Yeah.
To read the article.
That's why I prefaced it with, this is what I saw. I'm not sure. This is what I read. Okay. But yeah, don't be posting stuff that's not true. Come on. Be better. Do better. That's why sometimes I refer to some of you folks as Mickey Mouse Media. Okay? Quit posting stuff that's not true. Quit embellishing everything. Because you'll get in trouble after a while.
But Sam, the news has to be sensational.
No, it has to be factual.
Exactly.
It's
gotta
not
be accurate.
It's not about, everybody, I got to have it first. Did you see this first? Well, you know where you're hurt. No, I want to know where it was right. I want to know who had all the facts. That's what's important to me in this microwavable society we live in. I want to know who has the facts. I don't give a crap who has it first. I want to know who has it right. And that's all that matters to me. Just because you have a phone and a camera doesn't mean you're an accredited member of the media. Get your facts right before you start spewing it all over the social media and the internet. Okay? I'm just giving you a little free advice here on the show. Little free advice. All right, so yesterday I was telling you about I get a text message from a friend of mine who lives in the neighborhood of my in-laws. And they texted, "Hey, I just saw your son driving away in our allotment." And he happened to be listening to the show. I got home last night. I said, "Hey, I thought I was going to be all sneaky cool, Dad. Hey, how was your ride home from Grandpa's yesterday? Heard you were driving the Grandpa's Maverick." And I didn't get "What do you mean?" or "How did you know?" I just got this wry smile and the nod of a head. And then he started to tell me the exact words that I was using on the air. So I'm like, whoa, okay. Well, I just brought the demo down a little bit here, didn't I? 18-year-old listening to the 1310 WDPN on a Tuesday afternoon. Okay, we're doing something right here.
All of our graphs are going to be ruined.
Yeah. Now, Grandpa was in the car, but Grandpa listens too. But what the show was on in the car, and I was talking about how, Dylan he's just not crazy about driving and feels comfortable in certain cars and not in others. And so I get home last night. He's like, "Now, don't forget to tell everybody that I'm not necessarily comfortable in the Outlander." That's my wife's car, because I was, putting it out there yesterday that I thought he felt pretty comfortable there, because that's the car that he drives when, he goes out or they go out or whatever. He hasn't driven my car yet. He just doesn't want to. He says, don't be telling that. He says, "I'm not comfortable in that car at all." He says, "Tell everybody how ridiculous that the gear shift is on the Mitsubishi Outlander." So I got to throw this out there to everybody who's listening. What are your thoughts on the gear shift in the Outlander? Because it's one of those things where you have to push a button in on the side and push the gear shift forward to go backwards. Make sense?
Wait.
Hardly.
So instead of shifting from the front to the back, you shift from the back to the front?
Yes.
Oh.
And
why do that?
It's one of the stupidest things I've ever seen in my life.
That's kind of infuriating. I'm not going to lie.
I can't tell you the couple of times that I was driving my wife's car and I was out running errands, delivering stuff, doing whatever, and I decided to go get a car wash that day. And I literally freaked out, I froze once I got inside the car wash, because you have to put the car in neutral. I didn't know how to do it. And once you get in those car washes, okay, you put your car in neutral and you get your hands off the wheel, your foot off the brake, and they take it over from there. Well, I couldn't figure out how to put the car in neutral because there's a certain little trick. Like some of the times when you want to move the gear shift, you got to press this button in on the side and then move it forward or move it back. But I guess when you want to put it in neutral, you don't have to push that button, but you got to have your foot on the brake. And you just have to like tap it. Give it like Happy Gilmore. Just tap it in. Tap it in. Just tap it. And I couldn't figure out the nuance of just tapping it. And I was like, do I need my foot on the... And now, meanwhile, I've got 7 or 8 cars behind me trying to get a car wash. I've got the attendants in the car wash looking at me with their hands in the air going, what the hell is the matter with you? We showed you what to do. We pointed to our billboard. It says, put your car in neutral. I don't know how. Now, you know, these car washes, there's water flying around and all this. I got to roll my windows down now. And I have to explain to the attendant at the car wash that I can't put my car in neutral. I don't know how. So now I got to put it back in park. And I've got him reaching through my window trying to figure out how to get this thing in neutral because now there's 15 people behind me trying to get a car wash and they're laying on their horns and come on, you. I've never been so okay. So this has happened to me probably like 3 or 4 times. And I really never got the gist of it. But the whole thing of pushing forward to go backward to me is like one of the stupidest things I've ever seen. So I don't know who's responsible for that, but that's just dumb.
I don't understand why they need to keep reinventing the wheel on stick shifters.
Now,
Works.
Look, there's a gear shift. What? Drive, neutral, reverse. What? Maybe first and second gear. But, you know, it should be real simple. But somebody felt the need to make it so complicated. And I don't know anybody who even likes that feature on the car. I don't know anybody who likes it. I don't like it. And I don't drive it anymore. I have my own car now, and it's real simple, right? I'm in park. I go, you know, if I want to reverse, I go to neutral, I go to drive. It's perfect, like how God intended it to be. But I had to share that story today.
It's like I always see pictures of those cars online that have the shifter that's like a knob, like the radio dial right next to the radio dial. It's like that can't be safe. Your brain's not wired to shift up there. Never has been.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I know how, you know, cars have, with technology and different ways of doing things, you know how they used to be, they were like a lever. It was like a lever. You had to pull it down to get to the mode of driving that you wanted to go to. And now in a lot of these cars now, not only do they have drive, there's front wheel drive, there's driving on ice, which you can't do anyway, driving in rain, driving on gravel, and they have all these different that are supposed to adhere to the surface that you're driving on to make it safer, which I don't know if I buy all that, but whatever. That's what they're selling. That's what they're selling. But yeah, insane. Gear shifting in 2025 in some of these cars is just like, why make it? Look, driving is it can be a very dangerous thing. You have to be on your P's and Q's. You have to be paying attention. You know, never mind people are talking on their phones, they're texting on their phones, they're eating while they're driving. People are smoking, they're doing their hair while they're driving. We don't need to make shifting gears any more of a chore. Just keep it nice and easy. But if there's anybody out there that has an Outlander, I mean, what are your thoughts on that gear shift? You must like it because you bought the car. But after a while, holy smokes. I don't know. Not a fan. Sam, I was lucky enough in my days being a Perry Panther to be part of the Friday night at Old Louisville Stadium in front of many standing room only crowds. Of course, this was many years ago. They were 7-1. We were 6-2. Unfortunately, running on the field before kickoff. Somebody pelted us with eggs. We were in a real dogfight that night with the Leopards, but we won 15-13 on a fake extra point. That's a great story. Oh, yeah. I know a lot of the big games back in the day, fans, students, they would just hurl eggs at you when you walked on the field. Just pelt you with eggs. And you know what? Nobody did anything about it. You took your eggs and you dealt with it. You went over to the sideline, you got your last instructions from your coach, and you got ready to play football. But, yeah, that used to go on all the time. Oh, especially the big games at the end of the year. Lord. Times have changed, though, haven't they? Let's take a break. It is coming up on 4:53 here on the Sam Bourquin Show, AM 1310 WDPN. Thanks for hanging out with us here on a Wednesday. We'll be back.
Canton's about to get a whole lot more colorful.
Mural Fest is back, and this year, 9 brand new murals are hitting downtown walls.
Be there for the big unveiling, Saturday, September 27th from 1 to 4 p.m.
Live music, food, and a free downtown art experience you don't want to miss. 9 murals, 1 community, endless inspiration.
Mural Fest Canton, Saturday, September 27th, 1 to 4 p.m. in downtown Canton. Free and open to all. Check out muralfestcanton.com for more info.
Do you have trouble getting in and out of the bathtub? Are you afraid you'll slip and fall entering or exiting a tub? Safe Step walk-in tubs can transform your bathtub from an area of concern to a calming refuge. Call them today at 1-800-498-2098 and save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs and showers are proudly made in Tennessee and offer an ultra-low step-in, avoiding that difficult climb over a traditional bathtub wall. They also offer a variety of therapeutic benefits that may help soothe your aching muscles and joints, increasing your mobility, boosting your energy, and improving your sleep. Safe Step walk-in tubs are designed to easily fit your existing tub space and are often installed in as little as 1 day. Just dial 1-800-498-2098 today to save $1,600 and receive a free shower package. That's 1-800-498-2098 for a free no-obligation consultation and to save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs. Safety never felt so good.
This place has a pulse. You hear it in the canopy, feel it in the ground. Life, fully illuminated, engulfs you. From the birds singing in the treetops above to the tiniest insects in the soil below, you take a deep, cleansing breath, filling your lungs with the essence of the forest. Now, imagine it's all gone. Healthy, life-giving forests reduced to nothing. No singing birds, no lush canopy, and water and food in short supply around the world. Time is running out to protect our forests, and without our love, they can and will disappear. It's our choice. Love it or lose it. Help protect our forests. Visit World Wildlife Fund at wwf.org/love.
Welcome back to the Sam Bourquin Show. We got about 4 minutes till the top of the hour. News and weather coming up from the 1310 WDPN newsroom with Jeff Mears. We'll get your national news, your weather, all that coming up. Don't forget Antonio Hall from Q92 Sports will be joining me at 5:35 today, talking ball with Hall. That's how we do it every Wednesday at 5:35 here on the program. We were talking about the baseball game last night. The Guardians, the Phillies had another fantastic comeback win against the Dodgers. And we talked about Cal Raleigh, the big dumper from the Seattle Mariners. He hit 2 more home runs last night. His 55th home run of the year in the 3rd inning. He broke Mickey Mantle's Major League Baseball record for homers by a switch hitter in a single season. The Mick set that record in 1961 with 54 home runs. Cal Raleigh has hit 56 home runs for the Milwaukee Brewers. Wow. He also became the first Major League player in MLB history to hit at least 20 home runs on each side of the plate in one season. So Cal Raleigh's not one of those guys, well, just turn him around, make him bat right-handed, or turn him around and make him bat left-handed. No, it doesn't matter. He's hit over 20 home runs from each side of the plate this year. That's not easy to do. That is really not easy to do. Guards Tigers tonight, by the way. Cleveland Guardians TV, first pitch at 6:40. And keep your eyes on the Red Sox tonight. We'll be scoreboard watching them. All right? Come on, A's. Help us out a little bit. Poll question of the day. Still got a lot of juice left here. What's the best high school football Week 5 matchup here in Stark County? What's the best matchup? Is it Eds Massillon, Perry McKinley, Hoover Louisville, or Green Jackson? So far on X at AM 1310 WDPN. Make sure you give us a follow on X. Go ahead and do that right now. 63% of you say Hoover Louisville, top game on Friday night. 21% say Massillon St.Eds. 11% have McKinley Perry. 5% say Jackson and Green. Hit us up on X, AM 1310 WDPN, and take the show poll question of the day. We'll give you the results on Facebook coming up here early in the 5 o'clock hour. Don't forget tomorrow, right now scheduled, we have got our good friend, our handicapper extraordinaire, Ross Benjamin from wagertalk.com. He'll give us the scoop. He'll give us the nuggets on all the big college and pro football games this weekend. Help you out a little bit. Ross Benjamin, wagertalk.com, tomorrow here on the Sam Bourquin Show at 4:35. Don't miss it. Okay, news and weather coming up here at the top of the hour, and we've got one more big hour to go here on the Sam Bourquin Show. Keep it here, everybody. Hope you're having a great day. 1310 WDPN. Stay with us.
Keeping Alliance entertained and informed for over a half a century. AM 1310 WDPN Alliance.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. Authorities in Utah's Washington County offering more details on suspect Tyler Robinson, the accused killer of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. Washington County Sheriff Nate Brooksby describing the call by a friend of the Robinson family who alerted authorities about the suspect.
He said, "Hey, I know who Charlie Kirk's shooter is. I know the family through religious association, and he's in Washington County now."
Brooksby described the suspect as calm and quiet when he surrendered. Classes also resuming today at Utah Valley University a week after the shooting. In the UK, President Trump and the First Lady attending a state dinner this hour at Windsor Castle, hosted by the royal family. Authorities in Pennsylvania say police officers were fired upon while on duty today. At least 2 are seriously injured. And the Federal Reserve Board lowering interest rates today by a 1/4 point, expected to ease borrowing costs. This is ABC News.
Whether it's day or night, hot flashes due to menopause can be unpredictable. That's why there's Veoza, a prescription treatment proven to reduce the number and severity of hot flashes day and night that can start working in as early as 1 week. Based on clinical studies measuring efficacy at 4 and 12 weeks, individual results may vary. Talk to your healthcare provider about what this may mean for you. For moderate to severe vasomotor symptoms or hot flashes and night sweats due to menopause, Veoza can cause serious side effects, including liver problems. Your doctor will do blood tests before and during treatment. Stop Veoza and call your doctor if you have symptoms of liver problems, such as feeling more tired than usual, decreased appetite, nausea, vomiting, itching, yellowing of the eyes or skin, pale stool, dark urine, or stomach pain. Don't use Veoza if you have cirrhosis, severe kidney problems, kidney failure, or take CYP1A2 inhibitors. Ask your doctor about Veoza. To learn more, call 1-866-239-1637 or go to veoza.com. That's VEOZ.
Now, the latest Alliance area news from Jeff Mears on AM 1310 WDPN.
Good afternoon, it's 5:02. This news a service of Arts and Stark, bringing you Mural Fest 2025. A wanted man is dead after shooting himself in Canton. U.S. Marshals say they were attempting to serve a warrant charging the 52-year-old with domestic violence and failure to register as a sex offender. Around 10 a.m. today, he turned a gun on himself as they approached a home in the 1100 block of Clarendon Avenue Northwest. A task force officer also fired a shot. Canton police were called to the scene. They were not directly involved with the incident. Canton police and the Ohio BCI are investigating. The man was not identified. A bid to take the owner and operator of the Hall of Fame Village private has come up short. Hall of Fame Resort and Entertainment failed to collect a majority of shareholder votes for the proposal today. The Canton-based company will attempt to secure more votes prior to a shareholder meeting scheduled for September 25th. Hall of Fame Resort would merge with Omaha Merger Sub, a subsidiary of Industrial Realty Group, and become a wholly owned subsidiary of HOFV Holdings, LLC. Industrial Realty is owned by Stuart Lichter, a shareholder of Hall of Fame Resort. NASDAQ delisted the company's stock in June after it didn't hold an annual shareholder meeting on time. The Stark County Coroner's Office has identified a man who died after a weekend house fire in Osnaburg Township. Responding firefighters pulled 83-year-old Gene Miller from his home on Sunlight Avenue Northeast Saturday afternoon. He was taken to Altman Hospital, where he was pronounced dead a short time later. The house is believed to be a total loss. The cause remains under investigation. A man is in stable condition at Altman Hospital after being shot in Canton. Reports of gunfire drew police to the 700 block of Prospect Avenue Southwest shortly after 6 p.m. Monday. 35-year-old D'Angelo Snell of Massillon was already taken to the hospital with serious injuries. Officers found multiple spent shell casings and blood at the scene of the incident. Witnesses said they heard an argument followed by several gunshots. A dark-colored SUV was seen leaving the area. A suspect has not been identified. An investigation continues. Jail time is not part of the punishment handed down to a former East Canton police officer. Monday, Stark County Common Pleas Judge Frank Forcioni sentenced 52-year-old Brian Pittman of Louisville to 180 days behind bars. All of the term was suspended on condition of 2 years good behavior. Pittman pleaded guilty to an amended misdemeanor count of dereliction of duty. He was indicted last month on felony charges of theft and theft in office. Pittman was accused of submitting false records to be paid for hours he did not work. He must pay more than $8,200 restitution and surrender his peace officer certification. Pittman resigned in January. A ban on camping on city-owned property has been approved by Canton City Council. The legislation makes a violation punishable as a misdemeanor with a $50 fine. It was passed in an 8-3 vote with council members Lou Giavasis, Chris Smith, and Nate Cooks opposing it. Mayor William Scherer says the intent is not to lock anyone up, but to connect them with resources. Some residents criticized the proposal prior to the vote, saying it would criminalize homelessness. Massillon firefighters have a new contract. The 3-year agreement with Massillon Professional Firefighters Local 251 was approved Monday by City Council. The Independent reports the deal includes 5% pay raises for more tenured firefighters in the first year, 5% the second, and 4% the final year. Other firefighters will receive lower or higher increases based on their individual service time. The contract is retroactive to August 2024, with the raises effective in January 2026. A man died after a crash in Goshen Township last week. Highway Patrol says a pickup driven by 64-year-old Michael Wynn of Minerva was northbound on Seacrest Road, just north of Salem Alliance Road last Tuesday. When the vehicle left the road and hit a tree, Wynn was taken to Alton Hospital, where he died early Sunday. The cause and manner of death is yet to be determined. According to the repository, a coroner's investigator says Wynn could have had a medical emergency before the crash. Louisville City Council held a swearing-in ceremony Monday for 4 new police officers. WDPN's David Schur reports.
Brina Warko and Ken Hankett are new full-time officers, while Jacqueline Halmacy is a permanent part-time, and Hope Rummel is the permanent part-time school resource officer. The new hires bring the total police force to 16. Council approved 3 additional change orders for the new fire station, totaling $37,135, and learned that the income tax revenues are up by 5.1% at $4,673,000. And Mayor's Court revenues stand at $45,464 compared to just $6,859 last year, and that is due to increased enforcement.
A new charge has been filed against a Wellsville man who allegedly shot a teen. 20-year-old Emery Childs allegedly possessed a metal blade while in the county jail in late July. A Columbiana County grand jury secretly indicted Childs on account of possession of a deadly weapon while under detention. He is scheduled to stand trial October 14th on charges of attempted murder, felonious assault, tampering with evidence, and inducing panic. Childs is accused of shooting a 15-year-old boy in the arm near Danbury Avenue in Wellsville April 27th. A final status hearing is scheduled for October 1st. The hearing on the new charge will be held September 29th. The head of the Catholic Diocese of Youngstown is reacting to allegations surrounding Ursuline High School. Bishop David Bonner said Monday he prays for all those who have been affected, adding that the church doesn't use the media to try cases. A pair of federal lawsuits was filed against the school. One alleges hazing and sexual abuse of a student during a summer football team trip. The other accuses a player of assaulting a female student in 2023 and her continued harassment. Coaches have been removed and the football team's season has been canceled. Bonner says he's leaving any future decisions up to the school's administrators and board of directors. A man convicted last year of killing a 4-year-old boy in Struthers has been resentenced in Mahoning County Common Pleas Court. 22-year-old Brandon Crump was originally sentenced to 52 years to life in prison after he was found guilty of charges including aggravated murder in the September 2020 slaying of Rowan Sweeney. Today's resentencing stemmed from a conspiracy charge being merged with charges of aggravated burglary and aggravated robbery. The merger did not change the amount of time Crump will serve in prison. He entered Sweeney's home, demanded money, and shot 4 adults and the child. 2 men are serving prison time for their roles in the incident. A Struthers man who caused a deadly 2-vehicle collision is sentenced to 8 to 12 years in prison. 65-year-old Walter Bolt pleaded guilty in July to 2 counts of aggravated vehicular homicide and 1 count of aggravated vehicular assault. Highway Patrol says 44-year-old Angela Brown and her 15-year-old son Jason Daff were killed March 3rd when Bolt's pickup hit their car on Route 170 in Springfield Township. Bolt's blood alcohol level was .215. Another of Brown's sons was seriously hurt. The Trumbull County Coroner's Office has released findings in the death of a father and son in Howland Township. 33-year-old Leonard James Rusa and 8-year-old Leonard Lee Rusa of Garrettsville died of acute carbon monoxide poisoning August 11th. They were working on a vacant house on Mines Road. The coroner says their deaths were accidental. The Ohio Parole Board has rejected a request for early release from a man convicted of a 50-year-old murder in Warren. This was the 4th attempt at parole for 72-year-old Pompey Wade. He was found guilty of aggravated murder and other charges resulting from a December 1975 robbery and shooting at a business. An employee was killed and another wounded. At the time, Wade was on parole for the 1972 slaying of a man at a Warren bar. He was sentenced to death, but the death penalty was ruled unconstitutional in 1978. Wade was sentenced to 20 years to life. He will remain in prison for at least another 5 years. Taking a look at Wall Street, the Dow Jones Industrial Average closed today at 45,757, down 126 points. The Nasdaq Composite ended the day 15 points lower at 22,333, and the S&P 500 closed at 6,606, down 9 points. It's 82 degrees and Alliance at 509. This is the local edition of WDPN News, brought to you by Mural Fest Canton, Saturday, September 27th. Check out muralfestcanton.com for more information. I'm Jeff Mears.
Here's the latest forecast on AM 1310 WDPN.
This afternoon's forecast calling for sunny skies at a high near 84 degrees. Tonight, mostly clear, a low near 52, patchy fog early Thursday, otherwise sunny, a high near 85. Mostly sunny Friday, a high near 80. Saturday, sunshine, a high of 83. That's your WDPN weather.
Live from the AM 1310 WDPN studio, it's time for live and local sports talk. It's the Sam Bourquin Show.
I'm ready.
Give the show a call at 330-821-1310.
Good call, meatball!
Watch the Sam Bourquin Show on the AM 1310 Facebook page, the Q92 YouTube page, and on X. This is the Sam Bourquin Show on AM 1310 WDPN.
Line drive, left center field. That's going to get down. That's in the alley. Juan will score. Angel's around second, on his way to third. Here's the relay throw. He's in there safely with an RBI triple. And the Guardians lead by 2.
That one came from left center.
Jose shoots one down the left field line. Fair ball. That's into the corner. Scoring is Angel Martinez. Infield in for Arias, who drives one to right field near the line. That will be a fair ball. Ramirez scores. Manzardo stops at third. Throw goes all the way to home, and Arias says, thank you very much. I'll go to second base. Fly ball, right field, foul pole. It is fair and gone. Number 55, Cal Raleigh.
Line drive down the right field line. That one is over the head and out of the ballpark. It hit the top of the fence, went out of the yard. A 3-run lightning bolt by Rafael Marchand. And the Phillies have retaken the lead.
And we're back, 1310 WDPN, the Sam Bourquin Show. How beautiful is it outside right now? Welcome in, everybody. Hope you are doing well. Sam Bourquin here, Ryan Rainsberg on the other side of the glass. Don't forget the text line is open, 330-924-7088. Text line, 924-7088.
Which Buck utilized today to ask Sam, what is more likely to happen? Browns fans wearing brown bags over their heads or the Browns scoring 14 points?
Ooh, Buck, that is a great question. 14 points. 14 points. Against Green Bay. I'm going to go with brown bags on their heads. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say that there will be more people wearing better chance of the Browns fans wearing brown paper bags than the Browns scoring 14 points against Green Bay.
Put it on Pauly Market right now.
I think it's going to be very difficult for this Browns offense to score 14 points on Green Bay. Now, I know Quinshon Judkins is going to get the start at running back, but I think it's going to be very difficult, very difficult for Cleveland to score this weekend. I mean, Green Bay had a pretty good defense anyway. And then they went out and got, I don't know, maybe the best defensive player in the NFL, Micah Parsons. So they added him to the list. I think it's going to be very difficult for the Browns on Sunday. Packers an 8.5-point favorite. At this point, I may lean that way. I might give up the 8.5. I take Green Bay. We'll see what Ross has to say tomorrow. Ross Benjamin from WagerTalk.com. He'll break down all the football games for us tomorrow here on the show. 4:35 tomorrow. Don't forget, Ross Benjamin, WagerTalk.com. Coming up here in about half hour, Antonio Hall, Q92 Radio Sports. We will talk high school football with Antonio. A lot of big games coming up this weekend. We'll get into that. We'll get into the games that we are covering on 1310 WDPN and, of course, on the Q92 Radio Sports Network. I've got a list. Here we go. I'm so confused with this printing on each side of the paper thing that there's stuff that I don't think that I have but I do have. I have to turn the paper over. But looking at the games this weekend, not just the games that we're covering, but all of the games this weekend. McKinley Perry, Q92radiosports.com, Lake at Glen Oak, Green Jackson we will have Hoover Louisville, St.Eds Massillon on Q92, Alliance Canton Central Catholic, that will be on 1310 WDPN on Friday. Canton South Northwest, that's on the Q stream as well. Other games that night going on, Fairless at Orville. Good luck to Coach AJ and the Fairless Falcons this weekend. Triway Tuslaw, Manchester hosting Kenston, Minerva St. Thomas. That'll be on our stream. Howland will be at West Branch. Salem hosting Beaver Local. Here we go. East Canton is at Ridgewood. East Canton 4-0, Ridgewood 4-0. But the Hornets teams they've played are at 0-16. This is the biggest game to date for Coach Spider and the East Canton Hornets on Friday. You got Tusky Valley Malvern, Sandy Valley Strasburg, and then on Saturday, Marlington has a 1 o'clock game at Warren JFK. And best of luck to the Dukes. Sorry about that, Keller. Got to pull for the Dukes there, though, don't we? All right. You heard on the news with Jeff a couple times today, I believe, the Hall of Fame Resort Entertainment Company. Well, there's a little stay, a little reprieve granted. Okay. The president of the Industrial Realty Group and president of the Hall of Fame Village Holdings, Stuart Lichter, extended the termination date from September 17th to September 30th. So about a two-week window there. So much going on. Lots I could say. A lot going on there. Jeff will have the latest on that on the news again coming up here at the top of the hour at 6 o'clock. I hope that gets figured out. That whole thing, I hope it gets figured out. And pretty soon, because I know there are a lot of folks that are getting very upset. Very upset. Apparently there's a new meeting scheduled on September 24th, 10 a.m. to continue the vote. Merger plan to take the company private failed to receive enough shareholder votes by that original September 16th meeting. Company reported 57.8% of the voting authority was representative. Then a new meeting coming up here on September the 24th. I see another lawsuit was filed a couple days ago. Bills not paid from the to a Texas company for the Carrie Underwood concert for legends at the stadium. So there's a lot in play here. I mean, at some point I'd like to peel back all the layers and talk about it. Gonna give that a little bit more time. But I drove by there again today, and I'm on 77, and I'm looking over. And the Hall of Fame is rocking and rolling. They're bustling. I mean, that parking lot was packed. I don't know if they had another event going on over there today or yesterday. This was fairly early. They did tons of cars. And I go by that area where the water park and hotel is supposed to be, and just sitting there. Weeds are growing out of the dirt. You got tarps half covering buildings, all the water park tubes and all the stuff is just laying around the entire campus. It's been sitting there for I don't know how long. And you keep hearing of lawsuits, more liens. There's nowhere to go for any more financing. So much money is owed to workers that have not been paid. And you just start to wonder, is this ever going to become a reality? And I'll be honest with you, I think we've all been pretty patient. Now, I'm not an investor. I didn't buy into the stock. I know a lot of you that did. I know a lot of folks that really backed this thing from the word go. Hell, I was excited as all get out about it. When the plans start coming out, and I'm looking at the blueprints, I'm looking at the drawings, I'm listening to some people talk about it that are no longer here. And I was like, yeah. Okay. I'm in. Let's go. I'm in. You try to help out as much as you can. You promote what's going on. You talk about the plans. You do interviews. You got to get the excitement level going a little bit because this was a, pretty big undertaking at the time. And we're about to turn the calendar, folks, to 2026 here pretty soon. And I don't see anything getting done. I have tried to be really patient. I have. And I know a lot of other people have too. But at what point does the patience run out? At what point do some of the real heavy hitters want answers, and they're going to want them immediately? And what's going to happen when stuff starts flying east, west, north, south? And what happens then? What happens if there is no more construction? What happens if there's no more shovels going in the dirt? What do we do? What do you do? What do they do? What does the city do? What does the county do? I mean, when is the last time there was activity on that village property for the water park and the hotel? And never mind all the other stuff that was supposed to be built. When was the last time a truck was pushing dirt? When's the last time there were shovels in the ground? When's the last time you drove by there and you saw people in a bright yellow vest or a bright orange vest, which would signify to me that they are there working? When's the last time you saw any activity or progress as far as building? When was it? I can't remember. I'm being as serious as I can here. I don't remember the last time I saw physical activity, moving of dirt in buildings, in mowing, in shoveling. And when's the last time we saw it? I mean, how long can you keep telling people, oh, it's going to happen? Oh, there's just been a couple of setbacks. Oh, it's just a delay. These things happen. Okay, we know they happen. But does it set the project back 5 or 6 years? 7 years? I mean, when's this going to get done? Is it ever going to get done? And what if it doesn't get done? What do you do? What do you do with that eyesore over there? Which is a real shame, because the Pro Football Hall of Fame campus is beautiful. It's beautiful. I mean, is anybody else losing faith, or has anybody else lost faith in what's going on right now with the village? Again, I think we have all been incredibly patient. Incredibly patient. As we sit here today in the middle of September, I don't know what's going on behind the curtain, but I don't see anything happening. I don't see any movement. I don't see anything getting done.
No, I think if I had money invested in it, I definitely would have lost faith by now.
I mean, I'm not speaking for me. I'm trying to be a voice for the people. The city, the county. People want to know what's going on. They're tired of being lied to. It's not a nice thing to do when you're dealing with this amount of money, this big of a project. People deserve to be told the truth. And I don't know. I just would kind of like to see that happen. That's all. Again, I didn't buy stock. I didn't invest. But I invested like, hey, I'm a Canton kid. I'm an Ohio guy. I'm a county guy. I'm a fan. I'm in the media. I want to see these things happen. I want us to look good. I want us to put our chest out. Hey, come here. This is a destination. This is pretty sweet. Let's go. You folks in Ohio, you folks in Indiana and Texas and Florida, and Maryland, New York, California, Utah, Idaho, Montana, Georgia, North Carolina, Arizona, Vegas, Rhode Island. Come to Ohio. Come to Canton. You're going to love it. And I'm not doing lip service here. I'm telling you, I want to say, hey, you've got to come check this out. Make it a weekend if you can. If not, that's fine. But just kind of hang out and take everything in. I'd love to have the ability to do that. Can't do that right now. People want answers. When do we get back to telling the truth with updates, plans, financial parts of things? When do we get back to telling the truth to the people that it matters most to? That's all we're asking. That's all we're asking. I just want to see this thing happen. Kind of running out of patience here a little bit. I'm still backing it. I still want to spread the good word about it. I want to be proud to tell people about it. But time's running out. On this day in sports history, let's go back to 1920. The American Professional Football Association was formed in Canton, Ohio. It was the precursor to the National Football League. 1953, Ernie Banks, the first black baseball player to wear a Chicago Cubs uniform. He retired in 1971, known as Mr. Cub. 1961, the Minnesota Vikings were debuted as the new National Football League team. 1961. Wow. On this day in 1983, Johnny Bench of the Cincinnati Reds retired after 16 years as a catcher. Also in 1983, Carl Yastrzemski of the Red Sox broke Hank Aaron's Major League record for games played when he suited up for his 3,299th game. On this day in 2004, Barry Bonds of the Giants hit his 700th home run. And finally, on this day in 1984, Reggie Jackson, sitting on 499 in the home run department, stepped to the plate as a member of the California Angels.
Set to lead it off for the Angels here in the home half of number 7 is Reggie. Thus far tonight, Jackson is 0 for 1. He walked in the fourth with 2 outs and went no farther. There it goes. Home run number 500.
Reggie Jackson hit home run number 500. And how about this? It was exactly 17 years from the day he hit his first ever Major League home run. That is on this day in sports history. We'll take a break. News and weather coming up. And then we're going to talk some ball with Hall. Antonio Hall from Q92 Sports. We're going to break down the high school football landscape when we get back.
The latest news and the current Alliance area weather forecast are up next on AM 1310 WDPN.
Good afternoon. It's 5:30. The Federal Reserve has made a major decision on interest rates. ABC's Mike Dubusky has details.
For the first time this year, the Federal Reserve has cut interest rates. At a press conference, Fed Chair Jerome Powell said it comes as unemployment and inflation numbers edge up.
And in light of the shift in the balance of risks, today the Federal Open Market Committee decided to lower our policy interest rate by a 0.25 percentage point.
Officials are predicting further rate cuts at the Fed's 2 remaining meetings this year. Powell also revised the Fed's predictions for overall economic growth to now 1.6% for 2025. Mike Dubusky, ABC News.
The Fed has in recent months been under pressure from President Trump to lower rates. President Trump is relishing the glow of a British royal spectacle during his state visit. He was greeted at Windsor Castle today by King Charles III, military honor guards, and mounted troops before paying a private tribute at the tomb of Queen Elizabeth II. The president, accompanied by First Lady Melania Trump, attended a musical performance on the castle grounds. The visit aims to strengthen ties amid tensions over Trump's America First policies. British officials are hoping to avoid awkward questions headlines about Jeffrey Epstein as an opening day full of ceremony and good feelings gives way to real work tomorrow. That's when Trump and British Prime Minister Keir Starmer meet. The 22-year-old accused of fatally shooting conservative activist Charlie Kirk was formally charged Tuesday in Utah. Tyler Robinson faces the death penalty if convicted of capital murder. ABC News national correspondent Nat Gutman is in Orem, Utah, with details.
We heard the prosecutor yesterday say that the family had said that Tyler Robinson had been suicidal, talked about preferring suicide than turning himself in. So he's under what's called special watch to ensure that he doesn't harm himself or that others don't harm him. And he seemed to be very intently listening to the judge as he explained the procedure and then read the 7 charges against him, including the fact that he faces the death penalty.
A German man who is under investigation in the disappearance of British toddler Madeleine McCann 18 years ago was released from prison today after serving his sentence in an unrelated case. The man, who has been identified by media as Christian Bruckner, had been serving a 7-year sentence that stemmed from his 2019 conviction for the rape of a 72-year-old American woman in Portugal. He left the prison near Hanover in northern Germany this morning. It's 83 degrees and Alliance at 5:32. This is WDPN News. I'm Jeff Mears.
Here's the Alliance Area Weather Forecast on AM 1310 WDPN.
Your forecast for this afternoon calling for sunny skies and a high near 84 degrees. Overnight, mostly clear, a low around 52, some patchy fog early in the morning. Thursday, areas of fog early, otherwise sunny, a high of 85. Friday, mostly sunny, a high near 80. Saturday, sunshine, a high of 83. That's your WDPN weather.
All right, coming up here in a couple of minutes, we're going to be checking in with Antonio Hall from Q92 Sports. We'll break down the high school football scene for you. We'll look back at week 4. We'll take a look ahead to week 5. In the meantime, you can drop your comments on the social media platforms, Q92 radio page on YouTube, and you can also text us at 330-924-7088. Let's see here. Apparently we didn't send a link to Antonio.
That's a good point. I'm gonna do that right now.
So we're gonna do that here. Let me let him know it's coming. All right. Hey, a little behind the scenes, Tom Fuller here inside the 1310 studios. I'm going to pass along a couple of more on this day in history. There are a lot of TV shows. Remember we did on this day in TV history yesterday, a lot of shows that made their debut, the first episodes. How about in 65, the first episode of Hogan's Heroes aired on this day. Mission Impossible premiered on CBS. That was in 66. 72, the first episode of MASH aired on CBS. Battlestar Galactica aired on ABC on this day in 1978. 1991, well, one of the great shows, I thought, Home Improvement aired on ABC. 1995, the 10th season of Married with Children began with Al Bundy. Wow. And for you soap opera fans, I know there's a few out there listening. 2010, the final episode of As the World Turns. That was 15 years ago. Now, I got to be honest, not a huge chunk growing up, but a little bit of it. I was addicted to General Hospital. Never missed an episode. Whew. I think they're still going too, by the way. It's insane. All right, how about that segue? Soap operas to football. Here we go. Let's bring him in. And my man, Antonio Hall, as we talk a little ball with Hall here on the Sam Bourquin Show, AM 1310 WDPN. Coach Antonio, how we doing this afternoon?
Doing great. Happy to be here, Sam. How are you?
I'm happy you're here too, my friend. I'm doing really, really well. Well, here we are. We said it 7 days ago, and here we are, week 5 of the high school football season. And I look at a lot of these games. Well, not a lot of them, but I would say a pretty good chunk of them. I almost look at this weekend, Antonio, as like separation weekend. We're going to learn a lot about some of the teams that are at the top and some that are trying to get there. How do you look at that?
Same. There's a lot of teams who've had a lot of success early in the season, whose schedule really aren't that difficult, but now they're moving into some more challenging teams. So we'll see how those teams stack up moving into weeks 5, 6, and 7.
So let's talk about some of the stuff we got going on here. I want to start with what I think is the marquee game this weekend, and that's Hoover and Louisville. Both not only are 4-0, Antonio, but both are playing really well at home. They're playing well on the road. Their schedules have been okay. That's why I think we're going to learn a lot about both these teams. But, man, shake down the Vikings and the Leopards for us. What do you see there?
Well, both have great defenses. I mean, Louisville has given up 23 points total in 4 games. 23 points. Hoover, another great defense, giving up 38 points through 4 games. 21 of those were last week in that nail-biter with Green. But Hoover's offense, that's going to be the telltale. Hoover's offense is averaging 40.75 points per game this season. So this is the biggest test for Louisville's defense, biggest test for Louisville's team.
Do you think anybody has an edge in this, or is this just a coin flip?
I think Hoover's going to have the slight edge just because of how powered that offense is. I think Hoover's a little bigger up front, and obviously Hoover being a Federal League team. So, they've played some teams last year in the past that are battle-tested and proven. But Louisville's finding their way. Really love what Kappas is doing with this program. I mean, they're 4-0 for a reason. But, I think Hoover has a slight advantage in this game.
I think this is going to be fantastic, and I don't think it'll be a high-scoring game. I could be wrong, but I think both these defenses. This could be one of them slobber knocker games, man, from back in the day. It could be a lot of fun. Antonio Hall is our guest. He joins us every Thursday, every Wednesday here on 1310 WDPN. All right. How about the Fighting Spiders? East Canton is 4-0. Now, the teams they have played have a record of 0-16, so we don't really know. We don't know what we don't know yet. They're going to play a really good Ridgewood team. They're 4-0.
Yep.
But, wow, East Canton to be 4-0, pretty cool.
Very cool. The last time they started this good, 4-0, was 2004. So it's been over 20 years. Coach Spider got a new hip this year, and now he's coaching like he's 30 years old again. He's reinvigorated, folks. He's back.
Got a new hip. I love it.
East Canton has had 3 shutouts through 4 games, 3 goose eggs through 4 games. Again, the genius of Coach Spider, defensive guru, but their offense is averaging 42.7 points a game. But like you said, really haven't been tested till this point. Ridgewood will be a true indication of how good those Hornets are.
You think we'll look as good and move around as good after we get a new hip one day, Antonio?
Never. This summer I was talking to Coach Spider, and he was saying, I got to go in tomorrow for a hip replacement. And I said, that's all right. By next Friday, you'll be in the squat rack.
Give me my belt. I need my belt. I got to squat. All right. Hey, Minerva, Antonio, they're 3-1. They are turning that town upside down. And they probably should get another one this weekend. That they would be 4. They'd have 4 wins. Talk about the job that Coach Zach has done there. Not a crazy amount of numbers to work with, but he got some hungry young men over there, and they're playing hard.
He's writing his own legacy right now. The Lions continue to roar. Love what Coach Lace is doing, bringing the wing T offense over to Minerva. I think that's a perfect system for that program. Like you said, 3 wins. Last time that's happened for Minerva program was 2020. The last time they have 4 wins was 2014. So if they get the win this week, going against a winless St. Thomas Aquinas team, that momentum will continue to roll on Minerva.
Now, for St. Tom, our guy, Coach Henderson, man, it's been tough. They're 0-4 for the 5th consecutive year. but they're still scrapping. He still shows up every day trying to get those kids to buy in and get some kids from out in the hall to come out and play football. In his position, what do you try to do? Because that's tough. You know what? That's really tough. Football is that sport where, it's the highs and lows, but when you can't get to that ground, it's really tough. What do you do as a coach to keep the spirits going?
I think the biggest thing that you have to do at that school, and having coached at St. Thomas, it's all about numbers, and trying to continue to grow and recruit numbers and build your program, because one week you may have 13 guys at practice, next week you may have 23, and the next week you may have 17. And so the biggest thing is just getting consistent numbers in the program so guys can develop, guys can feel comfortable out there. But like you said, Coach Hen, he's a warrior. He's probably one of the most mentally toughest guys I know, knowing his battle that he's went through his whole life. His battle that he beat with cancer a few years ago. He's a warrior. He's a warrior. He's who you want, leading young men day in and day out. He has a never quit, never say die attitude, and eventually that's going to permeate to his guys.
Undefeated Lake Blue Streaks. Boy, they got Perry last weekend, and they're doing it with a backup quarterback, although Alex Squire is a very good backup quarterback for Lake. But they're 4-0, first time since 2022. They're almost 41 points a game. They got momentum. Talk about Coach Dan DeGeorge and what they're doing. Is the Blue Streaks, they still could be perfect here after Friday night's over. They could. Had a big week defensively last week, causing 5 turnovers versus Perry, 3 series in a row. So that was the difference maker in that game last week versus Perry. Really love what Coach DeGeorge has done with this program. Big fan of his. Even when Tyler went down, they still have a lot of success. And Tyler was the scoring machine up until he went down. So the fact that they can still have a lot of production, still win ball games. But that defense is what's going to keep them in a lot of games. Glen Oak struggling. They're 1-3. They got some talent. I think McClendon's a really, really nice back. I know Scott works hard. What is it going to take for them to turn it around? Maybe not even this year, but to get things, back to where they want them to get. Well,
I'm going to tell you this. I was impressed with Glen Oak's defense last week, watching them against the Pups. They caused 4 turnovers, 3 interceptions, and 1 turnover on downs late in the third quarter as McKinley was driving and about to score, but a big 4th down stand. And they were on the field all night, and those kids never quit. So I was very impressed with that defense. If the defense continues to get better and progress, like I know they will, their defensive coordinator, great friend of mine, was the defensive coordinator at Walsh for years. His dad's in the McKinley Hall of Fame. So, this guy has a pedigree of coaching great defense. I think the offense is going to make a couple tweaks this week offensively to get that offensive going. So it might be a closer game than what a lot of people are anticipating. But
that'll be one of the games. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, Coach. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying that, those with those factors, I think it's going to be a lot closer matchup than what people are given for Glen Oak's game this Friday.
Glen Oak Lake, one of our games on the, not on the Q92 Sports Network this week, but we will have constant score updates throughout our ball games. Okay, McKinley, Perry, the Dogs are 3-1, the Panthers are 3-1. And over time, Perry has given McKinley fits on the football field over time. Not every year, but over time. Who's got the upper hand here, Antonio?
This is tough because there's so much parity with both these programs. 2 first-year head coaches, not only for their programs, but just first-year head coaches in general, with Spencer Leno and Renzi Parnell both doing great jobs establishing their culture, putting their thumbprints on the programs. Both have tremendous defenses. McKinley's defense is led by Shad Davis. He plays lights out. Last week he had 7 tackles, 2 sacks, a strip sack. He's all over the place. Perry's defense is led by Connor Shepard. He's the man-child out there, inside linebacker. So that the defenses to me are neck and neck. Both offenses can score both on the ground and the air. Yes, Perry has an air attack, folks, believe it or not. You know, Perry has two great skill guys on the edge in Foster and Wilson. Both of them play wide receiver, defensive back, return kicks. McKinley has DJ Britt and Darius Hill. Both of those guys make tremendous plays all night on the perimeter. But the difference maker to me in this game is going to be special teams. Special teams, I think, has a slight edge going towards McKinley. 4-year starter at kicker Thomas Mankowski is perfect on the year so far in field goal and extra points. Also, he has numerous touchbacks on kickoffs, so offenses aren't getting great field position. Darius Hill is tremendous back there, returning kicks for the Pups. So to me, I give the slight edge in special teams to the Pups, and that might be the difference maker in Friday's game.
Coach Antonio Hall is our guest, talking ball with Hall every Wednesday, 5:35, right here at AM 1310 WDPN. And where are you at this weekend with Keller? Which game do you guys have?
We got Perry and the Pups, baby. Panthers and Pups. Let's go.
All right. Over in the PTO. All right. Get ready.
PTO.
There you go. That big train going by in the third quarter. All right. Massillon, Lakewood, St.Eds. I think the Tigers have a little 3-game win streak against the Eagles. But Eds is really loaded this year. Their competition, I think, is even tougher than it was the last couple of years. They're 4-0. Massillon, I still think, I'm not saying they're looking for their identity, because obviously with Coach Moore, they have an identity.
Right.
But I think they're looking for a little sizzle, a little something to go for them. How do you look at Eagles and the Tigers at Paul Brown on Friday?
I look at Massillon starting to come into their own towards the middle part of the season. Remember, they have 2 new coordinators, and that makes a big, big difference when you're talking about taking it from the practice field to the playing field. Massillon's look good at spurts, but remember, their schedule is no joke. You know, they've played some dogs, and they have some dogs coming up, one this week. So I think this week will be a true indication of where Massillon stands as a program for the 2025 campaign. But like you said, St. Ed's are lights out. They got size, they got speed, they got size on the perimeter. I mean, big receivers. Quarterback looks great. Defense is stout. Coach Bernardo always has his guys ready to go. This is going to be a fun one in Tiger Town.
It sure is. And usually, Antonio, this would be like the marquee game. But I think that Louisville Hoover game is probably one of the best around here this weekend. And, of course, you got Perry and McKinley battle with 3-1s. I think there's going to be some fantastic football coming up here this weekend. All right, I want to jump ahead, and I want to go right to Harold Fannin Jr. of the Cleveland Browns. Now, I know Cleveland's struggling. They're 0-2. But my guy is getting some touches, and he is doing things at the pro level in his rookie season. What are you seeing out of Harold Jr. so far?
Well, you know he has to be special because I'm a diehard Steelers guy through and through, every inch of my DNA. But I'm wearing the Browns for one reason only, number 44. You know, Harold Fannin, to me, is a football player. And you can take all the measurables, the 40 time, the vertical jump, all that jazz. People say he's not twitchy enough. He's kind of clunky in his routes. They want to say all this stuff about him. But some guys, when they hit the field, they're just football players. He's very cerebral in his football IQ. He just understands where windows are, where spacing is in the defense. He's always in great communication with his quarterback. He's the guy that makes plays. And given the opportunity, he's going to go make those plays, and he's shown that so far this season. 12 receptions. He's first among all rookies for receptions right now, and he's tied third amongst rookies for passing yards at 111. So he's already making his footprint. He's already establishing himself in that Browns locker room, that offense, and he's doing it also with his blocking. I mean, this guy is killing guys. He's leading up on linebackers, sealing the edge on outside plays. I mean, he's sticking his nose in there and getting dirty. He's going to do whatever it takes to help the Browns win, and I think it's coming sooner than later.
I'm going to tell you, I think you're right, and I'm like you, and I'm not a coach. Hell, I haven't played football since junior high, but I'm going to tell you what right now. Give me a football player. I don't care about the underwear Olympics. I don't care about 40 times. I don't care about any of that crap. Give me a football player, and I will beat you. And Harold Fannin Jr. is a football player. And I don't want to get too far ahead here, but I'm going to tell you what. This is his rookie year. Harold's going to get faster. He's going to get stronger. He's going to get engulfed in the NFL in the way of life, in the training table, in the weight room, in the studying. Antonio, he could be setting himself up for a monster deal when his rookie contract is out. And I would be so happy and so proud of him if that happens, and I hope that it does.
Me too. The biggest thing is you just hope and pray he stays healthy, because as long as he does that, really sky's the limit for Harold Fannin. He could be, one of the all-time great tight ends that we talk about. And like you said, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but just to see how seamless he went from high school to college and how seamless he's going from college to pro, he just has football DNA.
No, he does. He is absolutely fantastic. I want to keep it with the Browns here for a minute, and we'll let you fly. How long would you go with Joe Flacco at quarterback right now?
I'd give it another week to assess. I mean, just to see, and then based on his first 3 games of production and seeing the scoring opportunities that we generated, I might look down the bench, to the next guy. But Flacco's a proven winner. I mean, he is, and he's a proven leader. Father Time is undefeated. Everyone who's played understands that. But I still think Joe has some left in the tank.
I do too. I just, everybody's clamoring for Gabriel. A lot of folks are clamoring for Shador. And old steady Joe, man, steady as it goes. He's 40 plus, but he knows what's going on. I think he knows the situation. He knows the plan. And I think you're right with him at least for a couple more weeks, and we'll see what happens from there. Antonio, always a pleasure. Have a great broadcast, Perry McKinley, Q92radiosports.com on Friday night. It should be a great weekend of pigskin action. We'll hook it up again a week from today, okay?
Looking forward to it, brother.
You got it, my man. There he goes. Antonio Hall, Q92 Sports. We break it down. Talking ball with Hall every Wednesday here on 1310 WDPN. And with that, we will take our final break of the afternoon. We'll come back and wrap things up here on the Sam Bourquin Show, 1310 WDPN.
Exciting high school football Friday night here on AM 1310 as Canton Central Catholic takes on Alliance. Sam Bourquin will have the play-by-play action at 6:45 for the pregame show. Kickoff at 7 p.m. The Vikings against the Aviators this Friday on AM 1310 and streaming live on the Q92 Radio Sports Network.
Do you have trouble getting in and out of the bathtub? Are you afraid you'll slip and fall entering or exiting a tub? Safe Step walk-in tubs can transform your bathtub from an area of concern to a calming refuge. Call them today at 1-800-498-2098 and save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs and showers are proudly made in Tennessee and offer an ultra-low step-in, avoiding that difficult climb over a traditional bathtub wall. They also offer a variety of therapeutic benefits that may help soothe your aching muscles and joints, increasing your mobility, boosting your energy, and improving your sleep. Safe Step walk-in tubs are designed to easily fit your existing tub space and are often installed in as little as 1 day. Just dial 1-800-498-2098 today to save $1,600 and receive a free shower package. That's 1-800-498-2098 for a free no-obligation consultation and to save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs. Safety never felt so good.
Hey, Max, you look absolutely dashing in that purple tie. Ready to harness the world?
You bet, Daisy. I'm ready as I'll ever be. And might I say, your purple tie really pops with your vest.
Thanks. I almost went with a cape, but didn't want to come across as pretentious.
Nonsense. Anyone in our line of work should rock a cape.
You might be onto something, Max.
Phew, so here we go. First day on the job. We've got this, right?
Right. Don't forget, we both graduated from Dogs Inc. with honors.
Which means I can guide my human around a busy city with ease.
And I can give my human a restful night.
I hope my human is kind and loving.
And I hope mine likes wet kisses and zoomies.
Ready to make a difference?
Born ready. Let's go.
Discover how extraordinary dogs like Daisy and Max change lives at no cost to the recipients. Visit dogsinc.org.
All right, thanks to my man, Antonio Hall, for talking some high school football with us here. We do that every Wednesday. Don't forget, 5:35 here on the Sam Bourquin Show. Speaking of Friday, we'll be doing our show from the University of Mount Union. The Alliance Aviators will take on Canton Central Catholic, pregame 6:30, the kick at 7 here on 1310 WDPN. Also, Q92 that night, Massillon will take on St.Eds, and then we got 5 other big games for you on the Q92 Sports Network. Couple baseball finals today. Cubs beat Paul Skeens and the Pirates 8-4. That was Skeens' last start at PNC this year for the Bucks. Reds beat the Cardinals 6-2, and the Orioles beat the White Sox today 3-1. Let's see how many people showed up at Rate Field on the south side today. White Sox and Orioles. Teams just floundering along. Let's see how many people showed up today. 10,915. I bet that's like half of the total. That was probably the paid crowd. I bet there wasn't 5,000 people at that game today. Guardians and Tigers tonight. Oh, there'll be a big crowd at Comerica Park. You better believe that. 6:40 tonight. Williams and Flaherty, the pitching matchup. The Guardians going for their 6th win in a row. If they beat Detroit tonight, folks, they will be 4.5 behind the Tigers in the division. And if we could get some help from the A's tonight and knock off the Red Sox, that would get us a little closer to where we want to be, and that's a shot in the postseason. So things are getting, that's fun. This is fun. You know what? Say what you want about the long baseball season, and it's 162. And, we start some games in snow, and sometimes we end the season in snow. But there's something to be said for playing meaningful games in September. And you know what? You know what I think is fun? I think scoreboard watching is fun. I do. I think it's fun to see who we're chasing and how they're doing at the same time we're playing. I know it's a little nerve-wracking, but I love me a little scoreboard watching. So we'll be doing that again tonight. Don't forget, tomorrow, it is a 3-question Thursday edition of the show. WagerTalk.com's Ross Benjamin, our handicapping expert, he'll be along at 4:35 tomorrow to break down all the college and pro football. We'll recap the Guardians. And don't forget, Guards and Tigers play tomorrow at 1:10. So we probably won't spend much time at all on the game tonight because they play at 1:10 tomorrow. But we'll get into it. We'll get you a little bit closer for the Browns and the Packers at the stadium on Sunday. Talk a little Browns football tomorrow. We'll have our On This Day in Sports History. It's all coming up tomorrow right here on AM 1310 WDPN. Thanks to Ryan Rainsberg. Thanks to all of you for following along today and listening. And don't forget, go Cavs, go Bucks, go Browns, go Guards. We'll see you tomorrow, everybody.